I'm gonna get started now.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Ready.
Ready.
When you are.
All right. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, so looks like we are live, everybody. What's up? We already got somebody in the chat. Michael Raymond, what's
Do we
up?
actually?
Yeah, we
Hi.
actually
Oh,
really
man.
do. That is
Hi.
awesome for our very
What's
first.
going on?
Oh yeah, hard days. Let's go.
Yo, this is history right here.
This is a little bit of history that we happen to have going on for us.
And
This is
that
the
first
first
comment's
time
all
we're
part of it.
all together doing
Yeah.
a podcast. I actually did an interview on each of these people on Behind Them Sticks, and we decided to come up and make our own very own show called The Game Train. Right now, I am looking for my docket of questions, but we are gonna just keep it going anyways. So everybody, please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are. By the way, you guys, I'm HamSolo05 Gaming. You can find me on Twitter. I do the Behind Them Sticks show. I also do a show with Loke every Friday, bull sitting, and now I'm here with these other three awesome people. You guys go on ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right, Matt, you go first.
Matt Likes Games. You can check that out on YouTube. Matt Likes Games. Also on Twitter. I love games. I talk about them, make videos about them. So check it out.
All right, I guess I'll go next then. So I usually go by TWON, and I'm just I really like video games. You know, collecting them for a good while now. You can find me on Twitter. It's at It's Me TWON, and that's all. I have a YouTube channel. Not really uploading on it right now. Who knows? I might, so you might want to subscribe and be the first one to watch the video when I do. So that'll probably be interesting. But other than
Maybe
that,
subscribe.
yeah, maybe. Who knows? You might just see a video game
Do it.
uploaded on there. So it might be something big. All right, you go next.
Okay, so you guys can call me Cottontail. I am mainly on Twitter at foremost_GG. Like Twan, I have a basically inactive YouTube channel. When I can actually put out content, I will be doing that, and I hope people are going to be ringing the bell. So as soon as I post something, you know that it'll be there, and you can watch me doing whatever antics I'm up to. But yeah, I like playing games, posting clips, basically talking about whatever, raging at Elden Ring, etc. So, yep, that's basically it.
Oh, okay. I think
All right.
all of us except Tuan has been raging in Elden Ring for a little
Yeah.
time now. I recently just beat that game, and man, that last boss gave me the business. I was, Matt was hearing it, and Mike, Hard Days Mike was hearing me just complain about that last boss. It's hard because it's a back-to-back boss. It's not just one boss; it's two.
All those types.
So yeah, it was a pain in the butt, and
That's
and,
fun.
and usually when they're together fighting, I'm actually okay. I'm a little bit better fighting two at a time than I am fighting one whole one, and then taking a deep breath, and then fighting another whole one. Especially when the
Since
second
yeah.
one's worse than the first one.
Yeah. So since
Yep.
this is a Souls game, I'm assuming there's no checkpoints, right? You're starting back from the beginning when you die from that boss, right?
So
No
there's
checkpoints.
sites
start
of
back-
grace.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's sites of grace that you pick up throughout, like traveling, which
Yeah.
are checkpoints. Since it's an open world game, they have to have some sort of checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, when I was referring to that, like, there's no checkpoints throughout the actual boss fight, right?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No,
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 Once you
no.
fail it is just
So,
restarts.
yeah, you just
You
go back
restart
to
the
your
boss fight.
From your
Yep.
last save.
Yep, you take that whole L.
Yeah.
You take the whole L, not part of
Because
the
I
L, the
know,
whole
I know there's
L.
some games where it's like, okay, you got past the second phase, okay, you could continue from the second phase. You know?
Oh no.
They'll do stuff like that, but no, this is a Souls game, so I'm assuming there's none of that. You know.
No.
Mike, you know
Like-
damn well
it's
I didn't
like-
get it the first try. You need to quit
Like
capping in the
Jedi
comments.
Fallen Order.
Man, let's move on because I don't even want to talk about
Yes.
that game. That is not up there for me. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people, a lot of other people like Fallen Order, but not me. I hated the map. I hated the traversal. Didn't like it.
Oh, dare
Wasn't a
you.
fan. I'm sorry that
How's
you
the
feel
game of
that
the year?
way.
Another game of the year.
Yeah, feel the need to bitch about it if you want, but it's a no in my book. But moving on. So we already kind of talked about what the three of us have been playing. What have you been up to, Twan?
What have I been up to? I've just been like chilling and playing light gun games. Like I've been playing like Time Crisis on my PS1. Like I'm not even like playing recent games right now. I'm just chilling, playing some old school stuff. Like my PS5, I don't even think I've turned it on in the past like 4 months. like it's.
How it is.
Just
I mean
to let
today.
you know.
I mean actually today I played Moving Out with my little cousin. That game's actually pretty fun. It's like a little indie game. I got it free on Xbox Live Gold. It's been sitting on my hard drive for like months. And my cousin was like, I want to play that game. I was like, sure, let's play it. And I was like, man, this game's actually pretty good. It's kind of gives me like Overcooked vibes. I don't know if you ever played that game.
Overcooked is actually a fun game.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's a similar game, but except of like, you know, you're making food, you're moving out, you're basically helping someone move out of a house. So you're like grabbing like furniture and everything, and all the physics are all exaggerated, so it's all wacky and everything. You're like slapping ghosts because there's also ghosts for some reason in the houses. But it's a fun game. It's just a little co-op game. I want to play. It's actually not too bad.
All right. So that's off the table. That's what we all been playing. Mike in the comments said, finally got to the snowy area. It's horrifying. I need a hug.
Oh yeah, Mike.
I
I
get
hope you have fun with that area. Yeah, that area is great.
Enjoy the snow the snow dragon, Mike.
No,
I beat that yesterday, but keep in mind I beat it after I beat the game, so my confidence was just like, you know, Godzilla like. But
Yeah.
before I beat the main boss at the end of the game, I was timid in that area. I was scared of everything. I was constantly smashing, just B, go faster, you goddamn horse. You're slow as shit. Like, get moving. like I feel like that game, the horse, it feels so slow. In having to repeatedly hit the boost button drives me up the freaking wall in that game. In most games, I love it when you can just hit one button and the boost just goes until the stamina runs out and then you have to wait. I'm okay. I'd rather do that than beat my B button until my stamina goes away and then have to wait. It's a kind of a pain in the
100%
ass.
agree.
But by far, the worst part of Elden Ring, which go on ahead and shun me if you wish, I beat the game. Whatever. If you know, I feel like I have room to talk now, right? Because usually the people complaining are the ones that, you know, kind of gave up. But me, beat the game. I'm going to say the auto aim in that game is one of the worst that I've played in any game. Any game that has auto aim. Like where you click and it locks onto that target, it is by far the worst. You clip past just the smallest pole in the ground and you lose sight of him, even though you can see him dead in front of you. Or you'll click to auto aim and it will turn you completely around.
Yeah.
Man,
Like,
I'm surprised they couldn't figure that out. Ocarina of Time back on the N64 figured that out like years ago, and they still can't figure out auto lock on. Like, I'm surprised.
dude, it's painful, especially when you're like low health. Like you got one more hit before you're done, which feels like half the game. When you turn that corner. When you turn like a small corner and there's like a pole in the way and you lose the auto lock and you just pan your camera to auto lock back on and you click it and then it turns you completely around, bro.
Yeah.
In those fights where it's like the last hit, most frustrating moments because you don't feel like you did anything wrong at all.
Yeah, the game just screwed up.
Right.
Yep.
I can't blame you for that, bro. If you haven't fought Millennia yet with the lock on, yeah, have fun with that. That's gonna make you. She's just dancing all over the place. Camera's just going all over the place. I'm like, man. I was like, I might as well just turn lock on off and just do it myself.
Looks like Mike was okay. Yeah, looks like Mike was agreeing with TWON. He said, "Time Crisis is a masterpiece. Wish I still had my gun for my TV. So sad they
yeah.
barely they're barely in arcades at all anymore.
Well, they still make them for arcades, but for consoles, they're pretty much dead. Like, since the PS3, that was it. No more like getting games on consoles anymore. Because I know the PS3, they had the PS Move, right?
So what I want you to bust out, TWON, is I want you to bust out them guns that you showed me that work on the 4.
Oh, you mean the Sin and Light guns, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the ones that work on 4K TVs and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. Man, yeah, if you guys haven't seen the episode with TWON with behind them sticks and whatnot, this dude can keep pulling stuff out and pulling stuff out. Like, he has just accessories and games and consoles.
Literally everything.
Yeah, this fool has more than necessary. By God.
Yeah, see, Ham Solo knows how seriously I take my light gun games. See, I got these guys over here. I actually got 2 of them. This is the red one, and I also got...
You know you had to get both colors.
Oh, I have to get both colors, right?
Dude,
I was
those
like, I mean,
bring
like,
back memories.
These ones here,
Yeah.
inside of them, they have a camera. They got a camera instead of like a sensor. Most of the other guns usually have. And what happens is that you install software on your PC, and it puts a white border around the screen. And then basically what it does is the camera picks up that white border, and then pretty much wherever it's pointing at, it's like, so it's pinpoint accurate. Like, you could aim down the sights, you could do everything. Because that's the biggest problem with, like, for example, the Wiimote, right? That's what a lot of people use as, like, a light gun back in that era. They'd have, like, a sensor bar. And then, like, you know, it would kind of, the controller would basically estimate where it is. And it was never, like, pinpoint accurate, because it'd always be a little off. But with this, it's, like, spot on. So that's why it's nice, because there's a lot of PC emulators, obviously, with, like, actual arcade games. And even modern games nowadays, they run off of PCs. And a lot of people have got those games running on PCs, right? Like, I got the latest House of the Dead, for example, could run on the PC. That was a game that came out in 2018. So it's worth having, in my opinion, if you're a fan of the genre, at least. Because I know.
Yeah, I mean, how much does one of those guns cost?
Well, my mom's not watching. It's like $150 each.
Oh.
Canadian.
$300. Ooh, boy, you must love them shooters. $300 to play House of the Dead.
Soul.
See, the problem is I like them. I love them
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
really good, man. It was worth every fucking penny. It was, sorry, I swore, but yeah, it was worth
Whatever.
every penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, like I said, let the passion out. It's all good. But anyways, let's move on to what we have going on for the show. Now, obviously, no one's ever seen this show because this is our first episode. Mm-hmm. We have a set of questions that we're going to kind of tailor for each episode. But let's start off with the very first one, which is called Dope Concepts That Fucking Suck to Play. All right? And the first one is Matt's favorite game. Game of the year. Hit a solid somewhere in the 40s in the Metacritic. It was looking good. Looking
40
good.
is 40. It hit a 40.
A40.
To be fair,
Give Matt a hand. Give Matt a hand, y'all.
To be fair,
Matt a hand because he loves
I think the player score in Crossfire X is actually better than Gran Turismo 7 right now.
Which brings
That's
me
not
to
good.
what we're talking about. Crossfire X. Let's go. Let's go.
It's a horrible game.
Let me put up the video for that game, actually, because it was it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, Hamsel will love that game.
It was so good. Like, how
was
do you
so
play
funny.
any other? How you play any other
Tragic if we
multiplayer
just were
game,
searching for 5 minutes.
knowing that Crossfire
I wouldn't be
X
surprised.
is out there?
I'm pretty sure
doing
everyone
the
dropped this
Lord.
game in like the first 3 days.
Happily.
Man, you gotta
Play
go
any other
on
multiplayer
Xbox
game
to get
happily.
this game. Right now.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. But let's talk about that. So why did it suck for you? Let's go with TWON first, because we know we know like, so as you guys see, there's only 3 screens playing right now. Cottontail was not available to play, but I'm pretty sure he's happy he was not.
Damn, man.
I feel bad for him because he didn't get to enjoy that kind of greatness. But
From the grave.
all right. Anyways, Twan, hit us with what your thoughts for Crossfire? Okay, let's
Oh,
go.
I can't tell if I got an assist or if I killed someone.
Double kill.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yo, man, we are slapping them. Holy
Headshot.
no. Oh, no.
Ooh, I got an achievement.
Yeah, I've been getting achievements left and right.
Oh, damn. I must have been low on life. Do you have like a life bar or
aim
something?
assist? I don't know. Is there aim assist in this? I can't tell.
Doesn't feel like that.
I thought it's not that I love the gameplay of it. It was just so funny
I'm
the way
used to
they
the Gen
set
X
up
Taylor
the
aim
map
assist,
where
like,
it's
pretty much
just
the
like
box on,
you're in. Like, let me see if I could fast forward the video that we had of it because it was towards the end of our game where we're playing.
up
Yeah,
in
here
that
it is.
spot over
It's
there.
right here.
Damn, that guy
If you're
just got
looking
over
at this gameplay,
they're actually
which
like-
it might be a little harder to see, but if you can kind of zoom in at all and see
How
what's
many
going
rounds?
on,
There's not 10 rounds of
it's
this. is
awful.
there?
Like there's
I hope so.
people in the same room just blasting directly towards the one entrance
Oh,
you're the
where
real
a zombie can come
The
in.
game that
And it's
never
like
ends.
you literally can't get in there at all
It
be
needs
like-
unless everybody runs out of ammo.
Okay, look, I haven't started off as a zombie yet.
No, I jumped down. God
I don't
damn
know
it.
if anyone. I don't know if anyone knows about the. In fact, in case Ham gets like.
And it's hilarious. At the
fact
very
that I don't
beginning
wanna
of
look
it,
at
you don't know
my
who's going to
stream.
turn into a zombie. So you could be
I gotta
sitting
look.
right next to the zombie from the get-go.
No, I
And
can't.
then all of a
I'm
sudden,
sitting
your
on
cover
the
is
couch.
blown from the start of the game.
I'm just sitting right here. Someone killed me.
It had me crying.
dude.
I just
they're too
love
fast and they got too much health. There's no chance. Especially like, you know, I'm not using any battle pass fucking guns like these guys are. These fucking miniguns and shit.
Honestly, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
If it works
How it had no
Oh,
prompt.
shit, hold on.
It had no prompt to tell you that
Get
you
the
were at
fuck
the
out of here,
bomb.
Matt. Oh, I don't know. Fucking
Let's
A.
go. Get out of here, man.
Jesus Christ.
Yo,
I
this
felt
one
like I
demo
was-
made this whole thing work.
Even you were like, how many shots am I gonna take? Come on now.
Dude,
Just
I'm
didn't-
thinking I stand right next to this thing, someone jump on my head, and then jump up and hit him. I don't know if that's a thing, though.
No, you can't jump on.
All right,
people, you
Matt,
just
your
bounce
take.
around.
That's dumb. They're gonna have collision. You should be able to jump on people's heads.
I guess
It's a
it's just
problem.
these two chain gun
Yes.
guys. But I think there's one
Oh no.
guy as well.
Okay, we're
Oh,
good
do I,
now.
do I have to, do I have to recite that whole
Okay.
thing?
Yeah, there's three
Yeah,
guys
go ahead,
alive
I guess.
right now.
Oh no,
But
but we're about
like
to
from
get
what,
into
I'm
this
gonna
what
business.
point? Like where do I?
My
where do I
take?
read-
Just from your take.
all the way
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah. I
Yeah.
guess so.
What did I even?
Because right when I turned down that game,
Oh, but that was when we were talking
game
with
sucks,
the zombies, right?
not fun.
I said it was great. Yeah, but yeah. So we're talking about the zombies mode. Yeah, the map design, right? It was just it's not compatible with the game mode at all. Because, like for example, that one door, we could really just camp there, just fire the minigun. That's another thing. If you pay for the minigun, you pretty much win that mode because no one's gonna
Yeah.
get to you, right?
No
And
one
there's
can.
so much ammo. I don't know why they have so much ammo with that minigun. And with like the freaking assault rifle, only have like 3 clips, and you're already done. And these guys are just
Yep.
spraying like 300 rounds, reloading, spraying another 300, and I don't know.
Infinite
And-
ammo.
Pretty much, that's what it felt like.
Good-
That's what at first I thought they had infinite ammo, and then I realized, oh yeah, that's right, there's crates. Because I
Very good
realized
game
that. I didn't
design.
realize there was an ammo limit until I ran out of ammo, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I was in that room.
That's what I thought.
yeah, right. So
Dude, it was
Yeah.
it is one of the more fun times I've had joining up with some people to do some multiplayer play where we're all in the same party together, and it was just the weirdest. It was a mixture of awful and just pure awesome, pure bliss.
Yeah,
Matt,
another thing
please.
about that game.
Okay, go ahead.
The people that do pay for that game have a clear advantage. Like for those, we said those snipers they're just better guns. Like the miniguns,
Yeah.
they're better guns. You know,
Exactly.
You pay, you're better. You just have better stuff, right? It's like
So you had to pay for that minigun?
Definitely staying away from that game, dude.
No, let me get this right. You got to pay for that minigun.
I'm pretty well, probably. Like
We're
there's like
just
three.
assuming.
Like when I turned on the game, there was 3 separate stores.
Yeah.
You know, there was like a premium battle pass, there was a black market, and then there was this regular store. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know, they're just asking for your money left and right in this game, you know?
Yep.
Well, they freaking need it. But anyways, Matt, hit us with hit us with your take of this masterpiece.
I mean,
Of a game.
before the game even starts, when you boot up the game and you're in the menu's broken.
Yep.
Like the menu's broken. You can't move. You can't select things. And then when you finally get into a game, it's somehow even more broken.
Yeah.
By some miracle, they've done it, and it is truly, without a doubt, the worst game I've played in the last decade.
Wow.
And
Bad, huh?
it's so like the guns. I mean, I've seen Counter-Strike gameplay, and I've always thought, okay, I'm not good enough to do that, but that looks interesting. So when they said Crossfire X Counter-Strike gameplay on your console, I was like, I'll try it. It's so bad. It's so like I don't know, like it's either the auto aim is way too high or it doesn't exist. I can't even tell which one.
I don't
it
think
is.
there was auto aim. I think we're talking about
Exactly.
that. There's no auto aim at all.
I
Like
cannot.
It's
the aim assist isn't there. There's no aim
It's
assist.
terrible.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, I had no
horrible.
idea when I was actually shooting somebody.
Yeah.
I was just like,
There's
like they just fall and I'd be like, yeah, I got him. I guess.
yeah, there's no like hit markers or any feedback that you're actually hitting someone in that game. I just
Exactly. It
realized
doesn't make a noise like you're hitting.
Bad.
people.
Yeah. There's no hit markers, no feedback.
Okay,
at all.
see, the only game that could ever pull that off is Escape from Tarkov, because when you hit a shot, you just see a body drop, but there's no hit markers or anything like that.
Yeah.
Crossfire X is making me not like. I thought about it just because it looks good, and everything you guys are saying is making me want to avoid that game like the plague for forever.
I'm telling you,
Don't
should.
do that. Don't do
You
that.
should.
Don't do that.
You don't even have
You
an Xbox, so I think you're good.
Exactly. You don't need
They're not
it's
releasing that
worth
game
it.
on PC anytime soon.
Oh, Matt,
They
cut the
should-
cap. That
they
game
should.
is top of the line.
That's one of the only games they should de-release that game. They should
De-release.
just take it back. They should just take it back. really
you,
should.
you click on the game and it says sorry. We didn't mean to
gone.
give this
It's
to
gone
you.
now.
It's
And they
bad.
should just
Sorry
give
to
people their
leave
money
on
back
the
and say,
drive.
we tried, it didn't work. Sorry.
All right. Let's talk. Let's move on. I already kind of gave my opinion on it. I thought it was
Masterpiece.
like a 10th wonder of the world or something like that. It's up there in on the Mount Rushmore of games. But now we got a little weekly breakdown. So I want everybody to kind of display some of the news that they kind of heard throughout the week. I'll kick it off. Bruh, Gran Turismo is a mess right now. And with the prices, with it being online and offline, you just don't really know what to expect. Fuzzy Belvedere is actually in the chat right now. He played this game and he actually, enjoys it a fair amount, but has some discrepancies with it. Too bad he's not here to speak on it. So it's going to be us just kind of talking about it from our points of view of what we see throughout the community. Now, TWON has the game, but he refuses to take it out the plastic. I feel like he's nervous.
Good on him. Good on him.
Well, I just haven't. Like I told you, right? I haven't really turned my PS5 on in a while. But I'm still
Yeah.
buying games for it, and I'm just like, I'll get to it eventually, but I just never get to it eventually.
Yeah.
So, but I do plan on playing it one day. I mean, obviously, I wasn't gonna play it 2 days ago because I physically wouldn't be able to play it because of the servers were down, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like I have I have a lot of childhood memories with Gran Turismo, right? Like Gran Turismo 3, that's like one of
Same.
my favorite games. Yeah, I think Matt, you even said Gran Turismo 3 is like your favorite game
Same.
of all time.
GT3 is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm a GT2 boy.
GT2 is really good too. GT2 is like, I think a lot of people actually say GT2 is one of the best ones. Like in the
Yeah.
franchise.
It's goated in my opinion.
Just with the content alone in that game.
Yeah,
with all the cars
absolutely.
and everything.
So, I mean, do you think that they're going to keep those prices the way that they are? Or do you think they're going to start lowering them back down?
I don't think they're
There's-
gonna lower the
there's-
prices,
No.
but I think they might.
Mm,
They might ease on the DRM. I think maybe they might throw in an extra mode
Yeah.
that you can play offline. But I don't know if they're gonna completely get rid of the DRM. They might ease it a bit, like because I know right now that it's really pathetic. They have like a demo mode where you can play like one car, one track, and like that's it. Right? They might make it more expansive. I
Well,
think.
but what I was asking is, do you think that they'll change the prices of the vehicles
I don't think
themselves
so.
No.
to
no,
make them to
not
make
at
it more
all.
affordable? Because those vehicle prices went up a lot
Yeah.
compared to the
No.
previous game.
They're
not.
if they had the idea to even do that in the first place, then I honestly doubt they're. If anything, it'll probably just go up more.
Well, we've seen Microsoft
Exactly.
backstep after the whole Game Pass, or not Game Pass, but the whole games
Xbox
with
Live.
the Xbox
Yeah.
Live thing, and
Yeah.
we already seen Sony backpedal with Horizon when they announced all those tiers of prices and whatnot, and they kind of
Yeah.
did still. I feel like they did still slip that under the rug a little bit because you still had to buy it at $70
Yeah.
unless you went to the PlayStation store like on your phone, like an
Yeah,
application.
you have to
Yeah.
specifically get the PS4 version upgraded.
Yeah.
Right, or else if you went on your PS5 to buy it, you ended up running into the $70 one. So they were still kind of sneaky with that, but they did backpedal a little bit with it.
Yeah.
I'm
Also-
wondering, are they
it's
going to
also
backpedal again with these prices
No.
for
To
from
be
Polyphony?
fair, to be fair, Sony also did backpedal because they're gonna shut down the PS3 and the Vita servers, and they
too.
backpedal on that as well.
Yes.
So I mean, I know Sony could be a little hard, to convince sometimes, but sometimes they do backpedal.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo, forget about them; they'll never backpedal. Usually, when Nintendo makes a decision,
Nope.
that's it. But like
Yeah.
Sony, they're a little hard, but they could backpedal. Sony, I feel.
I
They're a little-
I
they're a
feel
little tough, though.
for GT7, I feel like if they backpedal on the price, then it's to them it's like saying, yeah, that was wrong.
Mhm.
And they're not gonna say that about that particular thing.
Mhm.
They'll do that whenever like there's outcry about like how I said the servers for like the marketplaces for the PS3 and the PS Vita. They'll happily do that. They'll backpedal on that. Just like Microsoft backpedaled on because Microsoft had no justification
Mhm.
of raising the price of Xbox Live when its value was actually going down.
Yeah.
It was lower than ever. I mean, Games with Gold was a joke.
Yeah. I
Xbox
remember that
Live, I
Game
mean, they
Pass,
just-
Yeah.
They just released they just got rid of the paywall for free to play games. It was like had less value than ever before, and they said, hey, we're gonna raise it, and everyone got mad. and then they were like, oh yeah, our bad. But I don't see PlayStation backing down from microtransactions in their game. I don't see that. I see them backing down from other things.
I see them possibly backing out of the always online thing, or maybe
Yeah,
not completely.
I can see
though.
that.
But I don't know about the prices though. Those ones.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot more people are complaining about the DRM than they are complaining about the prices. Like, I
Exactly.
feel like the offline that's like the biggest one, and then
Yeah,
I think the
exactly.
microtransactions are just the cherry on top of it. That's because people physically they couldn't even play the game, right? That's a big problem. You cannot not even
Mhm.
be able to play
Yeah,
the game.
Fuzzy said something similar. He said they're gonna hold fast on the pricings unless the player base drops off.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
that sounds
see
about
that,
right.
but like
Yeah.
it shouldn't even
Okay.
go that far. That's the thing. Like if you're gonna keep it just until your player base drops off, then but it's like that's bad because if your player base drops, it's just gonna keep dropping regardless.
It's hard to
of-
get them back once they have already dropped off. Yep, I see
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
a lot of them might. I mean, like most people with the PlayStation 5, like I have a digital one, but most people have physical, and a lot of people still buy physical games. So if you drop off from a game, you're like, I don't need this game anymore. I'll sell it.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what they do after you sell it. You're not gonna just go out and buy it again. Most likely, you're done
Not
with
until it's on a deep sale, kind of like a
Exactly.
Destiny or something like that, where it became free, or actually it went down to like $5 at Best Buy, and you can just go pick yourself up a copy. Same thing happened with Cyberpunk. That thing, it tanked.
Practically free.
Yeah, the Cyberpunk was an easy pickup for a lot of people. All right, let's move on to another person. This time I'm gonna go to Foremost since he had nothing to do with the Crossfire X situation. I want to hear what your take from this week was.
Honestly, I would say Gran Turismo, but there was more recent news that just happened actually with YouTube and a bunch of copyright strikes and Bungie. And apparently something's going on where even Bungie's own content is being copyrighted for whatever reason. And like all the content creators are getting like multiple strikes, had to remove like videos from like years back that had like nothing to do with what's going on now. And Bungie's like, we don't know what's happening. So I've been keeping an eye on that. They put out a statement saying they're investigating and that their partners aren't the ones doing it. So that's apparently been a mess. And like a lot of the prominent like creators, like the ones who like My Name is Biff and they all do like lore videos and stuff, and they're like, if this happens and my content's gone, it's like I'm just basically gonna quit. So I've been seeing some really bad takes in the comments about that. You have several people blaming Bungie and blaming their partners, and then Bungie saying our own content's getting deleted, and then you have other people saying how is Bungie's own content getting deleted when they own the licensing and everything going on. So that whole thing has been like an absolute circus to be watching for the past like 2 or 3 hours.
This
So that's
happened
been my
like
bad
super
take.
recently today.
Yeah,
Like,
no, this happened like today within the past like 24 hours. Yeah.
oh my goodness.
I haven't been on Twitter,
Wow.
so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight to see. I don't know what's happening, but like people are legit deleting videos from like 6 or 7 years ago because they're getting copyright strikes on it and nobody knows why.
That is strange.
Yeah,
That's,
it's
that's
pretty
scary.
bad.
That's kind of scary because that kind of brings up the point of like you're making all this like we're making content right now, and I've made a little bit of content throughout like just this last year, and you know Matt's making content. I mean, we're all putting this content out here. It kind of lets you know that at any moment you could kind of get struck down for something silly. And I've seen people use music that's obviously like free to use, has no kind of like you don't have to even shout out the person or whatnot, and you can use the music, but it'll still get a strike and they'll have to still take the video down and stuff like that. So that's some pretty scary stuff for content creators. So thank you, Cottontail, for bringing that to our to like bringing us aware to the situation that's kind of going on in the content creating world. Now I kind of want to move over to Matt Likes Games, and let's see what he has to say for the week.
Starfield. I think Starfield, because obviously the thing is we're not getting a whole lot. We don't know much about it outside of what they are giving us in, you know, these 5-minute clips that they're doing where they're all just at a round table sort of talking about it. I'm wanting to bring it up because like there's a lot of things that they talk about, and there's a lot of things that are coming out outside of those, like leaks and stuff. But I mean, leaks, you always like gotta take that with a grain of salt. But like the way they're talking about it seems exciting to me, because it seems like they're going like Fallout 4 was good, but it wasn't Bethesda good.
Nowhere near Fallout 3.
Exactly. Nowhere near Fallout 3. Certainly not even near Fallout New Vegas. But it looks like they're ready to go back to like, okay, this is an actual RPG. And that's kind of why I want to talk about it, because I'm excited about that. I mean, I know a lot of people enjoyed Fallout 4, but like things that feel more lived in, things that feel like more interactive as far as NPCs and stuff. Because I know there was a leak, I think Ham shared it with me actually, that they're going back to a non-voice protagonist.
Right.
Okay, and
I actually like that. I like that.
Yeah, I got like super excited about that to the point where I made a video about it, because it's like that opens up, you know, just a lot more things that you can do, goofy, silly interactions with NPCs, as opposed to having to pay some guy to come in and just do plainly voiced
Yeah, I think
acting.
the thing about Fallout 4 is it made that whole Fallout 4 syndrome thing. Is like you choose like a dialogue option. You'd be like, okay, I'll say that, and he says something completely different. You know, like he'll say hello, and then be like, hello, I freaking hate you, or something stupid like that. You know, like it's like you'll choose something, and the way he says it, just the tone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, didn't know you would say it like that. You know, it's like, and
exactly.
like, I know a lot of games had that similar issue, and people literally labeled as the Fallout 4 syndrome, just because
Yeah.
of like that whole, you know, just him being voiced. It just brings a lot because it brings in tone, it brings in,
Yeah.
just, you know, it just brings a lot of values. I'd be like, oh man, I didn't want him to sound like that when he said it.
Kind of
Yeah,
carrying,
sound
kind of carrying what Matt said about like the way that they're talking about it and whatnot. The passion is like, it feels like it's radiating when you're
Yes.
watching the videos about the way they're talking about Starfield and the kind of stuff that you can do in the game, where you can, and TWON, I'm not sure, or Cottontail, I'm not sure if you guys have watched any of that stuff for Starfield at all, but they,
Hey.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, no, sorry. I have, but I'll wait till you finish because I do have something to say regarding like how they're doing things about Starfield.
Sure. All right. Well, yeah. What I was gonna say is like, just like the passion that they kind of got mixed with the things that you can kind of do within the game that you can't do in a lot of other games, where you can take on a mission with bad guys, but really be playing for the good guys. Like, to me, the sound of that sounds super cool, because there's been so many times in video games that I just chose the bad, because I wanted to see what happens in the bad side. But I really didn't want to actually be a horrible person. I just didn't really have the choice. But now I have the choice of being a good person in the public eye, but pretending like I'm a bad guy. Like that's super cool. Having to work for possible new missions in all actuality, pretty much doing interviews for jobs sounds really cool too. The idea of being able to just make your own character where it's not gonna feel so much like everybody else's character sounds really cool too. So I mean, it just, the way that they described it and the passion that was radiating during the conversation made it really easy for me to get excited for something I haven't even seen gameplay on, which is crazy.
Exactly.
It's just absolutely crazy. But Cottontail, go on ahead, because I'm kind of curious what you got to say about the way that they're presenting everything.
So I have been watching, like, I haven't kept up with Starfield super like tight, but I don't mind the way they're presenting. I get that they haven't really, I don't even think they've shown gameplay at all.
Nope.
They just talk about
I
it.
think
They
it was
show
an engine,
concept
though,
art.
trailer.
Oh yeah, they show like concept art. TWON, they showed the in-game, like they use like in-game engine
Like, people were like ladders,
footage,
you know.
and it's like, I think that's actually a good thing, because personally, time and time again, I've seen when you start throwing out clips of something that's probably a work in progress, and then it doesn't turn out
Anthem,
to what you showed previously.
Anthem.
Yeah, like
Anthem.
Cyberpunk,
Ubisoft
all
games.
of that. Yeah.
Oh, Cyberpunk was probably the worst, because it looked so
Cyberpunk.
real,
Like,
and
okay,
then it
don't
just
get
didn't look
me-
like that.
I always
Do not
like the
get me
Watch
wrong,
Dogs.
dude. I put like 60 hours into Cyberpunk when
It's
it
a great
released.
game.
No, it's a great
Fantastic.
game, but like I love that game, the storytelling. But it's like, my point stands is like what they showed back in like 2000, like early 2000s, compared to what released was completely different, and people were basically really pissed off and ranting because what was shown isn't what they got. And I think that's their way of trying to basically manage expectations, but then now you have people worried that you don't know what the game's going to turn out because they haven't really shown what it's going to look like. But in the end, that could be a really good thing in the long run, because basically what you see is what you know you're going to get.
Especially if they have to remove
Upon
any kind of
release.
assets or anything like that.
Exactly
It
like
sucked to show
that.
something
Yeah,
that you
you're
can't actually
not
give.
going to be wondering like, hey, I saw this in the game and it's not in the final product. What happened to it and why wasn't it there? Just like Cyberpunk, you were supposed to be able to go like do like cop chases or enter like apartment buildings and stuff like that. And now you have the modders doing that because it's not in the game itself. Just like the monorail was supposed to be in the game, so the modders added it themselves because
Yep.
They
it
gotta
was
finish
shown,
the
but it
game.
wasn't. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get people's concerns about it because they're just like, okay, you're just kind of messing around, you're not showing us things, but at the same time, that's good. As I said, what you see is what you get in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe they're just getting, they don't want to higher expectations, right? They'd be like, okay,
Mhm.
they'll show it like 2 months, well, who knows, maybe even 5 months before it releases. They'll be like, okay, this is what you're getting, you know, this is what we made. Not like, you know,
Yeah.
2 years before, it's like, and it looks, you know, like a masterpiece, right? Like we have all this
Yeah,
shit that
exactly.
we're not gonna
I feel like they're
promise.
gonna roll it
You know?
roll it out kind of
Yeah.
like Forza was rolled out.
Yeah.
So like you didn't hear
Yeah.
anything or see anything about Forza until what was it, like
E3.
E3. Then once
Yeah.
you seen E3, it was just like week by week they have bits and pieces to learn a little bit about Forza. Then they had like the map reveal. Like everything was like jaw dropping when you got to see it. But you got bits and pieces of a game that was told to be pretty much done already. They're just kind of polishing it up. And that's exactly the language that they used for Starfield. It's already done. We're just polishing it up and making sure that it's going to be excellent for you
Yeah.
guys when you
Acceptable, too.
receive the
Yeah.
when you receive the product.
Also,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
okay. I also feel like I heard someone. I cannot remember who said this. I heard someone say this. They said that people are nervous. They think people are nervous about Starfield because typically with Xbox, whenever they're not showing you something, it's for a good reason. They're not confident in it. They don't believe in it, and they said that's how Xbox does things, but that's not how Bethesda does
Yeah.
things. Bethesda,
different beasts.
they're not going to show you that until they feel like showing you that, and that's just the way it is. Like they could show you it and it could look like 2 months before the release, and it could look like the greatest thing you've ever seen. There's no knowing until you see it. But just because they're not showing it to you doesn't mean they're ashamed of it, afraid of it, or they're scared what your reaction might be. They're confident. The way they're talking about this game, they're very, very confident in what this game is.
I wanted to
That'd
go
be
back.
Very, I was
No,
gonna say
go
that'd be
ahead.
very scary if Xbox wasn't confident in this game. This is like
Exactly.
their big moment, right, for this year, right? This is like what
Yeah.
like this year is Starfield. You know, if they're not confident in that, it's over. like
Yeah.
like, that's really bad if they're not confident.
You know,
Yeah,
and I was
that's not
kind
really
of
sure
say, I was gonna kind of say something that Cottontail said earlier about modders with Cyberpunk. So Bethesda is known to, you know, let modders kind of fix up and
Yeah.
create and do stuff with games. This could be a modder's heaven if they
Absolutely.
allow the kind of the kind of stuff that they allowed you to do in Skyrim to mod and stuff like that. If you allow people to do that in Starfield, that game literally can be the very next the very next Skyrim, where it's just like it feels like it just won't stop coming out for a new for new consoles and stuff like that.
And what I could see them doing also is like for the console, they'll be like, okay, you could also get some mods for the Series X. You know, they might even bring that over
Yeah.
like they did. With
Well,
the-
it doesn't the Series X support mods, I
Mods.
think.
On Fallout 4 and
Fallout
Skyrim.
4.
Skyrim, yep.
Yeah.
So it's
And
just for a
76.
game then.
Yeah, it's Bethesda seems to be the one only developer that I know of that is supporting mods on console.
Yeah.
And
Well,
their
yeah,
game.
Bethesda in general, like their history has been very well
Yeah.
received towards modding in general. I appreciate that Bethesda encourages modding because it allows people
Yes.
to
Infinite content,
basically people like there's modders do some crazy stuff, dude. Like
Mhm.
they brought modders are the reason that Blizzard brought back classic WoW, because they were basically redoing the entire thing on top of adding new content and fixing the game, and then Blizzard's like, okay, enough, we're just gonna bring the entire thing back again.
That's pretty dope. That is pretty dope. But now we're finally over to TWON. What is
Alright.
your news for the week for us today?
All right, this is probably something most people don't even care about, but this is like very important to me. I think I told you last time we were doing Behind Them Sticks. I was talking about game preservation, right?
Right.
And how that like pisses me off. So you know about the Wii Shop channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You probably heard. This is recent news. I think like 2 or 3 days ago.
I just read that a few days ago, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's very recent. So what's going on right now is the Wii Shop channel originally closed down in 2019, right? And you weren't able to purchase any new titles at that point. So, but what they did was you could still re-download those games up till this point. So what they did was they kind of like quietly shut it down. They like people are like, oh, I can't access the store anymore. This has been going on for like 3 days, 4 days now, I think, where people can't even like boot the store up because it's not even connecting. So people are starting to think Nintendo just quietly pulled the plug on you being able to re-download those titles, you know, and they didn't even like give us a heads up or anything. They kind of just did it, and hopefully nobody would notice because I'm assuming they're just assuming that a lot of people aren't even on those anymore. And it kind of just pisses me off with like the preservation, right? Because this all goes back to preservation. Like there's titles that are only on the Wii Shop channel, right? And the people that even paid for those games, they can't even re-download them anymore. So it's just throwing money into a dumpster at this point. And
Yeah.
Wow.
you know, right? So and hopefully Nintendo actually responds to something. They haven't done anything yet, but as of right now, it's still offline. You can re-download those titles if you wanted to, and it kind of just sucks. You know, it kind of makes you think about the all digital future. You know, where you can't even re-download that stuff anymore.
Yeah, look at the
See,
stacks in his
yeah.
background. Look at the stacks
Exactly.
in his
I
background.
like my plastic. You know, I like this.
Yeah.
You know,
See,
but
because the way Xbox does it, they're not perfect, obviously. It gives
Yeah.
me confidence. But the way Nintendo's scary.
yeah,
with
oh
that.
yeah. Now they're doing the
Because-
whole thing where they're shutting down the 3DS and the Wii U shop now, so you can't even buy
Yeah.
those titles soon. You know,
That's
And they
just scary
pull
to
in
me. I
plugs.
don't.
And there's games that are only on those systems, so it's like, well, now I gotta get the system, and now I gotta mod it just to play a game. You know,
Yeah.
just one game.
And
It's
then
just-
they wonder why people on PC are like, I'll just emulate it. It's
Yeah.
like, well, because
you
you're
kinda-
not
you
giving
shoot
me a
yourself in the
choice.
foot. Yeah,
You're not
exactly.
giving me a choice. I got to.
Physically impossible, especially for those digital only titles. You know.
Yep.
Oh man, that's the worst.
You know?
Yeah, that is the worst. I mean, how many different ways is Nintendo throughout its lifespan? Like back when, so they started out as a card company, right?
Yep.
Making
Yeah.
cards and everything
Spoils.
like that for games and stuff. But then they made consoles, and it feels like ever since that they started making these consoles, handhelds, and all this stuff, Game and Watch and whatever, they've always made it so it's hard to duplicate it. It's hard to, remake it. But like, we as consumers and people that buy it understand that stuff. But when you do it to the point to now we have it and we can easily take it away from you compared to before where it's like, you just get it at the store until we're completely sold out. And if we're sold out, then you're going to have to find a used copy. That's one thing.
Yep.
That's one thing. But to only have it available online to where you can only go to the shop and purchase it, and then you take that ability away. Not only did you take that ability away, but I bought this game, and now I can't even go back and download it.
Yeah, especially with the Wii Shop channel, you can't even re-download the games anymore.
That
you know?
to me
That's
is
terrible.
just
Garbage.
Terrible.
insane. That is, oh man. And the thing
Nintendo.
about it is Nintendo just doesn't care.
Yeah, they just like
Not
I
at all.
told you, like you could convince Sony, like you could definitely convince Microsoft and Nintendo, they will never budge. Whatever way you
Because,
say, they'll not budge.
Because they're just
Nintendo.
they never need to.
Yeah.
They're no matter
say
what they
goes, pretty much.
exactly whatever they do, no matter how bad it is, they're gonna sell Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell you the next Mario. They're gonna sell you the next Zelda, and it's gonna make a lot of money. So they just don't care. They don't care.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I wish they'd be in a tight spot like the Wii U, so they have to do something. You know, I always hate it when a company gets too confident. You know, because that's always what happens, right? A company gets really confident, and usually their next system is always a dud. You know, for
360 to
example,
Xbox One.
yeah, exactly. The PS2 and then the PS3 came out. The PS3 was a disaster when it released.
Yep.
Because the PS2 was the best-selling console of all time. And then you had the Wii. The Wii sold amazing. It was the best-selling console of the generation. And then they released.
Before
the
that
Wii
was the
U.
GameCube though, and that was rough.
That was rough, yeah. So
Yeah.
like I said, they had something that was rough. They made the Wii. It did amazing. And then they had the Wii U, and that sold like garbage. You know, because they were
Yeah.
so confident with the Wii. Like, let's just continue doing this. No, and it just completely fell on their face.
It blew up.
That's always
right
what
in the
happens.
face.
Who knows? Maybe the next Switch console is going to be a dud now because they're so confident. You know,
I
they're so
hope not.
high on
Just make
the
it better.
success of the Switch.
Just make better hardware.
All right, now I kind of
Yeah.
want to. Now I kind of want to go into a freestyle mode with this whole weekly breakdown. Does anybody have anything that they want to bring up before we move on to the next subject?
I think I'm good.
I mean, what we talked about? We talked about Gran Turismo 7. We talked about Starfield, and we
We talked about Destiny issues with the whole.
Destiny. Oh,
Yeah.
was it exclusively Destiny, or was it just you?
No,
guys in
yeah,
general?
I think it's only Destiny. Like
Only
none
Destiny?
of Bungie's other stuff is being affected. It's straight up just all Destiny content.
Not
They're
even
not
like
breaking.
not even Halo stuff or anything. Like
No, they're not. They're not breaking their rules. Nothing.
No.
People are just getting like straight up like one copyright strike, and before they can remove another one, they're getting it. And they have like 4 strikes in the span of like an hour. Like YouTube's
Oh.
rule is no, seriously, yeah, it's the entire thing is screwed up. Like they're
it's
they're
not
getting
over.
strike
Yeah.
after strike, dude. Like if you just look into it later, like the whole thing is just like what's going on. And like I said, the fact that even Bungie's own content is getting
Even
strikes
Bungie-
is like it's like why? What like what
imagine
even
imagine
happened?
striking yourself. Like,
Yeah, dude, the Bungie's like, guys, so it's like we're not doing this, or like we don't know what's happening and why everybody's getting so many strikes. Like people are like, our channels are gonna get like deleted because we're getting a whole bunch of strikes and we're getting striked on content.
so it's
That's like
Destiny
5 or
1
6
and
years
2,
old.
right?
Yeah, it's everything, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
like,
I've-
what was like, what happened?
I wonder. I mean, I'm probably wrong about this. Probably way off. But I wonder if it's something to do with Marty O'Donnell.
Who's that?
He did all the original Halo music, and he did a lot of the Destiny music. And then they ended on very bad terms,
I don't
if
know.
I'm not mistaken, a few years ago. Like, Marty O'Donnell does not like Bungie at all.
Oh, that's messed up if it does happen to be him
That's
just
what I'm
throwing
saying.
out a ton of copyright strikes.
That's what
dude.
I'm saying.
Is he in?
That's what
Where
I'm-
is he now? What is he doing?
I don't. I know he still does music for games. I don't know if he's working with a company or studio now or not, but still very much active.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
That's hella
Yeah, I guess
interesting.
stay away from making content about Destiny now. So
Yeah, just
Yeah,
for now, stay away, dude,
just
because
no
people are
don't-
legit getting like 4 strikes in like a matter of hours.
yeah, so if you're a Destiny content creator, just take a nice break. Don't
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, go to Crossfire
Great.
X just for a little while.
Don't
That's
make
unfortunate, too.
anything, dude.
Crossfire
Wait,
X is
yeah.
waiting for you.
Yeah.
Crossfire X is
Which
waiting
one
for you.
just
Just
No,
came
stop.
out?
stay-
Crossfire
But
X
it's
will not
still
strike
better
a
than
video.
Crossfire X.
Yeah. Oh, easy,
Crossfire needs all the support that they can get.
dude. Let's get all the Destiny content creators and make them make Crossfire content.
They're done. That's it. Maybe they're
man.
the one that's striking videos.
That'll
All
fix
right.
it.
All right, well, let's move to the next topic. We're doing our gaming cage match, and I want Matt to go on ahead and take lead on this
All
one
right.
because he picked it.
So what I was thinking, guys, is there's all this Perfect Dark news. So Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark versus Kait Diaz from Gears of War 5 or 4, whichever one, 5 really. But I mean Kait Diaz versus Joanna Dark. In a fight to the death. Who do you guys think wins that? And why?
I'd say Diaz. Personally.
I would go with Diaz too.
I think.
Yeah.
Is this gonna
What
be
about
like
you?
a one shot?
Oh my God, you guys
Oh,
stop
it's all
it.
it's all
What about you?
on you right now. It's all
What about
on
you,
you.
man?
Oh man, you guys are tripping. I'm over here watching I'm watching Miss Joanna Dark set up that laptop gun and walk away. That's all she got to do. She got to set up the
True.
laptop gun and just walk away. Kait Diaz is not getting close to Joanna Dark to do anything. She's going to have a hard time tumbling around with that heavy-ass gear on versus Joanna's fast ass.
She's quick.
Yes, but the thing is
The artillery though that she's probably got.
yeah, that is very true.
You can
But
blow
like
that laptop
Diaz
up.
has all that armor too, so like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah, like unless Joanna is like literally aiming for the head, like it's like it's just gonna be like.
Are you trying to tell me that
Joanna?
Joanna's going to miss? She ain't aiming for the head already?
She like Diaz is very careful.
She's
Or
messy.
can be,
Yeah.
like,
Diaz is
if
messy.
something is wrong, then like
She gonna have an
it's, like,
episode in the
counts
middle
out.
of the fight. She's gonna start seeing all red and shit like that, and Joanna's just gonna come up and just give her that cat.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I
no.
feel like because I thought Joanna Dark initially because I was thinking like him, but honestly,
Yeah.
just brute force.
That's
Kait Diaz is a monster.
yeah.
Just
And
because she
I
has the
don't-
hands of a watermelon doesn't mean that she's gonna be able to beat Sleep.
I'm not even talking about
Quick.
that. I'm just talking about being tough. Like she can take all those. You could take a bunch of shots from that laptop gun. She could take a whole lot of shots from that laptop gun before she even thinks about going down.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
mean,
Just the
you gotta-
armor alone that she has.
Exactly.
It'd probably just soak up.
If
so
she
much
gets
damage.
anywhere near Joanna Dark, then she might rip her to pieces.
Yep.
She might just
Get
rip
a
her
nice
to pieces.
chainsaw gun. Just.
Yep.
Oh man, don't be talking about that chainsaw with my girl Joanna. She can't survive that. Not even one touch of that. She's gone. She's gone. All right. Well, that was fun. That was a quick match.
Well,
Of
do we
any
really
sort.
decide who won that?
Obviously,
We're
y'all.
still on this.
Obviously,
still
all
in
three. All three of you guys chose Kait. So this
Exactly.
isn't even a
3-1.
fight versus. I mean, it's 3-1. So I'm gonna go on ahead and take my L from that and just continue to walk.
I mean, I think you had a good reason for it. That laptop. Yeah,
Dude,
thing
that
could really
laptop
do some
gun
damage.
was
Like,
unstoppable.
honestly,
in that
you almost
game.
convinced me. You almost convinced me when you said like about talking about her aim. Like you're right, she would. She does have some nice aim. You know?
I mean, yeah, but like I don't know, dude. I think you know what? I think I'm just gonna bow out of this because I might just be biased. Honestly,
Yeah.
so like,
about Diaz.
yeah, I think I might just be biased. I
That's
still
fair.
okay. I still think Diaz is gonna win regardless.
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's like if Diaz had like a 7 in 10 chance and Joanna, okay, I'm not even being generous. I'll be fair. Joanna had like a 5 out of 10 chance of like killing Diaz.
I mean, it could happen. You know, it could happen. Right?
Yeah.
It's just
Could
whatever the
happen, but
writers
that'd
want
be
to
like,
happen, right?
well, yeah, that's like saying, yeah, I guess if they just wanted to write it and be like, hey, we're just gonna have Joanna get like a
Yeah.
really sneaky shot in and Diaz
Or
can't
something,
react
yeah,
at
something
all.
stupid like that. I
Yeah.
think Stan Lee was talking about this. He's like, let's say if the Thing was fighting Spider-Man, it's whatever the writers want. That's who's gonna win. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how it works, right? And he just kind of went on a whole rant about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess it all really comes down to is like the chance, right? Like you said, 5 out of 10 chance. Diaz is like a 7 out of 10 chance. You really got to look at it that way because you could just make some plot where it's like, oh, Diaz tripped and now she had a chance. You know, you could do something stupid
Yeah.
like that, right?
But I'm wondering, give Diaz the energy sword and give Joanna a BR. Who's winning that fight?
I mean,
That's a good point.
Run, 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 slide.
How far from Joanna is Kait?
Let's say they are in
The same
a
room?
basketball court.
I was about to say, if it's
That's
the
not
same
fair,
room.
dude. That's like a big open spot, and then that's
Exactly.
All right, all right.
I say give Kait a pistol, give Joanna a beer.
All right, so I think
okay. I that might work.
okay. Let's put all our votes in now. We're gonna just do that. So I
Okay.
think I'm gonna go with Diaz.
I got Joanna.
I'm gonna go with Diaz.
I hate you guys.
So I guess that's the winner then.
I hate you guys.
I guess you lose, Ham.
Yeah, I guess so. Taking another L. That's all right. It's all right. Babylon's Falls, got him.
Right. That was fun.
Oof.
He said, "Ooh."
I thought about that game, bro. They were praising it. It's like it's gonna be a good game, bro. Out the gate, don't get me started on that. I don't think Babylon's Fall is any better than Crossfire X at this
Honestly,
point.
they're like neck to neck at this point.
Yeah, they're neck and neck worst games.
I think Babylon Fall got like a 41 or maybe a
Yeah,
43.
something like that. Yeah.
Jesus,
They
that's
pretty much
horrible.
got the same Metacritic.
Technically, it did beat out Crossfire on Metacritic. Technically, but I mean,
On
it
what
doesn't matter.
Point.
On how many
Like 1
points?
point.
I'm just kind of curious.
One.
Because
Like 1 point.
Crossfire, if last I checked, Crossfire was 40.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, Babylon's Fall was like 42.
I think it was.
I'm
41.
checking it right now. Oh, it's still at 42, 2.1
Okay,
user
you're
score.
Right then.
2.1.
Yeah.
2.1. Man,
It's
close to
Francis was
GT.
going better than it.
It's close to GT7's user score.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways,
But no, what's the user score for Crossfire X? Though? That's what I'm curious
40.
about.
no user score.
No, user score.
Oh,
for Crossfire.
3.1.
Woo!
So is it
Let's
better
go.
than
It's better than Gran Turismo. Let's go.
Maybe.
Because I think Gran Turismo's at like 2.7 right now. I think.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
Mike said, real question is, who would win if desync happens?
Desync.
Decent cap. Oh, that's a good. That's
Mm.
honestly, Kait has more ammo. So,
That,
yeah.
I mean, whoever has the most ammo wins, because like, what if Joanna runs out of ammo, and then Diaz is just like spray and pray until the
Just
bullet
still
hits?
shooting. She's still shooting when she comes back.
holding the trigger.
All right. We need to move on from that question. I'm tired of holding my L for that. But anyways,
Sure.
now we're moving on to the take of the week, which this week's take will be Hogwarts overshadowing Starfield. I want
Not
to
gonna happen.
choose.
Not
I
happening.
want to choose TWON first to answer why this is or this is not going to happen.
This is freaking Starfield we're talking about. Freaking Bethesda. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you're really
Thank you.
you're really gonna say like these
Straight
guys,
up.
yo, the games, yo, literally Hogsworth, whatever, what is it called? Whatever it's
Hogwarts
called.
Legacy.
Yeah, that game. The people that I think Avalanche they made that, right?
I have
Yeah.
no idea who's
Anyway,
making
I
that.
the
think
people that made that
Avalanche
game-
Studios did make it. Yeah.
The people that made that game, what they made previously, Disney Infinity, and those Cars game. Like really, it's like that's what they're.
I
up
mean,
against.
I don't know, dude. It does look pretty good.
I mean, the game looks. The game's
Yeah.
probably gonna be fine. Like it'll probably be fine. But
It'll
like,
probably be an
Yeah.
amazing
They're two-
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they're two different games. You know, you can't really compare them. It's
Exactly.
apples and oranges. You know, with
Exactly.
Starfield and Hogsworth. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I just feel like they're uncomparable in my opinion. And like you know, Starfield's is like Microsoft's big game, right? That's like they're gonna be like their flagship title for this this
Exactly.
year. You know, and just to be like, oh yeah, this you know, this licensed game's gonna overshadow it. It's like, no, it's not gonna happen.
No, it's
You know, this
not.
is a proven studio. You know,
Yeah.
they made like Skyrim, Fallout
Exactly.
3. You know, it's like, like, do I gotta explain anything? Like,
Like,
do I really have to explain it? But
That's-
I
that's
see it. I
fine.
see it more on the console war side, though. That's what
Yeah,
I really see it.
exactly.
It's just on that, like the you know people that are all about PlayStation to be like, oh, this game's gonna eat up Starfield.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
conversation if it wasn't exclusive.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. And
That's
the
true.
thi- the thing is, it's like I said, I mean, until just now, I didn't know. Like, I saw the state of play with Hogwarts. I'm like, that looks so much better
it's
than I
real,
thought it was
yeah.
gonna look. and-
That's how I thought.
Yeah,
But
I was like,
I still feel like that studio's not as proven as Bethesda's.
Not a
studio is.
chance.
No, not
It's
even
like-
close.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you said that, I had no idea who made Hogwarts. Like, it's like
They made Disney Infinity and they made those Cars games.
You-
Like
you're talking
That's all
about the
they made.
people who made Oblivion, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3.
like
You're talking about those
masterpieces.
people versus the dudes who made Cars.
Disney Infinity. That
Yeah.
shut down because nobody was playing it.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm sure it'll be great, but it's just not the same. It is
Yeah.
not the same in the slightest.
Like,
It's
completely different league, you know.
Yeah.
It's playing more on like okay, it's playing more on like nostalgia, I guess. Because don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
Harry Potter was basically all of my childhood. I read every single book. I even read like the very last one. It was like a literal like a play script, like anniversary edition of like a viewpoint of their kids. I read that one too. I even used to play. I think it was a PS2. Was it a PS2? PS2
PS2
game,
one.
Harry Potter.
And
Um,
A lot
GameCube,
of
yeah.
PS2 Harry Potter
Yeah.
games. There's a lot of them.
I played- Yeah, I played that one, dude, and it's
Mm.
like I used to play the mess out of that game, and
You do
it's
it?
like
The best
Go
Harry
ahead.
Potter game on the PS2 was the one that was based off of that sport. I forgot what it was. It was the one
Oh,
with like
Quidditch.
the little bell.
The
Yes,
Quidditch
that
one.
They
Yeah,
made a
that
whole
was-
game
that
off
was
of
a
that.
good one.
They
Yeah,
made a
that was-
whole ass game
That was
off
the
of that.
best
mode.
Harry Potter game, like hands down, regardless. But like,
Yeah.
like it was saying, like you can't as much as I like Harry Potter, dude, and it looks great and it's a massive step up compared to their previous games. And if it has Quidditch, it might stick a chance, possibly. But
Stick the
it's
landing.
like, yeah, you can't compare to Bethesda, like just off of like Skyrim alone, dude, which is hailed as like one of the greatest open world games, like
of all time.
Made.
of all time. Like
Yeah.
you can't, and I mean they have Xbox's funding too. Like
And it's
I
on
just-
Game Pass too.
yeah,
Like,
you,
day
you
one.
can't. Like I will eat my words. I promise you,
Yeah.
I will eat my words if Hogwarts overshadows Starfield. But like
100%.
It's not gonna
I will
happen.
go. It won't
it's not.
happen. It won't happen, dude. But like I will go on Twitter and apologize to everybody, dude.
Yeah.
But like I will film a video and everything. But like I can't possibly imagine anyone who says that Starfield's going to get overshadowed by
Hogsworth?
by Hogwarts, dude.
See, y'all forgetting the
Needs
name
a
of the game. and
Yeah.
shit.
If you think it's going to overshadow Starfield, I'm sorry, you need a very stiff backhand because
Yeah.
He said
that's
stiff.
not-
Truly do.
that's not happening.
He said a stiff backhand, not just a backhand, but a stiff,
No, very,
rigid
very,
one.
very not
makes it
not
tense.
enough to make it, not enough to knock you out. You don't need
Yeah.
enough to knock you out, but you need enough to make you just
Think right.
stand
Snap
back.
back
Yeah,
to
you
reality.
you need to
Get some
think right
act
for a
right. He
second.
said you need some act
Yeah.
right. All right, well, so my take from that is I thought it was just a ridiculous statement that had no real context behind it other than war talk.
Yeah.
Like TWON was saying, like you feel the need to say that to validate you not being able to either play it the way that you want to play it. You want to be able to hold maybe one of these and play Starfield, but you can't. So what you're going to do is you're going to make fun of this instead.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yep.
It's absolutely silly because the whole idea behind gaming, the way I see it, is don't miss out. Don't miss out. If
You
you
get
wish
FOMO.
to miss out, that's your problem. It has nothing to do with
Right.
the quality of anything else. That's your option to choose that, hey, I don't want to play this game because I don't like this console. And to me it's childish, it's weird, it's a waste of time. It's going in the direction of misinformation because you really don't know what you're talking about when you say that kind of stuff. If you have some kind of, if you have, some sort of reason behind it, let that be heard. But if you're just saying, oh man, this game looks good, it's going to overshadow this game because it looks good. Not a chance. Not a chance. I don't think that, I don't think Hogwarts is going to be an Elden Ring.
No,
It's not going to be an Elden Ring. The way people are talking about it is that it's going to be the next Elden Ring where it starts. And see, I feel like it also comes from people being jealous about the way that Horizon played out. Elden Ring completely overshadowed Starfield, just like Breath of the Wild overshadowed, or not Starfield, Horizon Forbidden West, just like Breath of the Wild overshadowed Horizon Zero Dawn.
I could see that.
That is the same thing that happened this year. Like history to repeat itself with Hogwarts, right?
I feel like turn, I feel like this is a little different because you have two different games that are coming out as new IP, and one of those games has a really known development side, and the other one does not. So I don't see people hopping to Hogwarts like they did a From Software game.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that Hogwarts really has going for it is really the IP itself, right? It's based off
of nostalgia,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
basically,
right?
Yeah.
But of course, Bethesda has like the actual studio; they have that backing them up, and Hogwarts has the actual IP backing it up. But of course, it's like I said, the studio isn't really backing up that much, right? It's kind of just promises, It's like, oh yeah, trust us, we can make this great game, and it looks good, right? But we don't really know if they're gonna. We'll see how they execute it, right? When it actually releases.
I'm excited. I'm more excited.
It'll probably be good.
I'm wondering if my mage in Harry Potter will be able to beat my mage in Elden Ring. That would be an interesting fight.
Your Elden Ring mage is just gonna summon a crystal sword and it just be like, hey, goodbye.
I'll summon my mimic tier, and Harry Potter's gonna be so scared. He's gonna be confused. He'll have no idea what's going on.
Your mimic tier is gonna be worse. Your mimic tier is gonna be worse. It's gonna be like a real life boggart for Harry Potter, except this one can hurt you.
You just find a bench, you go sit down and watch the mimic go to work.
Exactly. It's not your game. Not your game, bud.
All right, so now we're gonna. Oh yeah, did anybody else have any takes for that Harry Potter?
Well, I did
Starfield
one take.
thing.
You did one take, and who else did the take? Did Matt do a take?
Matt.
I went after you because my whole take was just I didn't know who these people were, and it's like we gotta see what they can do, but realistically, no. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's
realistically, dude, like I said, you need a stiff backhand if you think that Starfield is going to get overshadowed by Harry Potter.
Here we go with that again.
Bro, I've gone to a completely different universe if that happens, dude.
Exactly.
This sounds like Foremost wants to give somebody a backhand.
Dude,
Cottontail wants to give somebody a firm backhand.
No way that game's gonna get overshadowed by Hogwarts, dude. No possible way.
That game owns the end of the year.
Yeah. No, it's automatic game of the year.
Is Hogwarts coming after it, or is Starfield coming before?
Well, it's both. They're both holiday 2022.
No, Starfield actually has a release date.
Yeah,
right?
No, Starfield is 11/11/2022.
Yeah. So
we can assume Hogwarts is somewhere soon.
Hogwarts is probably like a week. I wouldn't be surprised if Hogwarts ends up like a week after Starfield, which is going to be horrendous timing. Because if that happens, I don't think Hogwarts is going to be a blip on their radar.
You think it would be worse if it came out before Starfield or if it came out after Starfield?
Well, it depends on how
worse
far
for
before.
who?
Like if we're talking,
came out before Starfield, would you think it'd be better if it came out before, or would it came out like a week after?
If we're talking like a week before, then that's bad for Hogwarts. Now, if it's like, okay, Starfield's 11/11/2022. Now, if Hogwarts comes out, October 15th, it's like that's fine. I think.
I mean, that gives people time to because in terms of length, Starfield's just I can't really confirm this, I guess, because I haven't played the game, but Starfield just seems like a far more expansive game. It's more open. Like I think Hogwarts, like you have like the different schools like Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, you have the common rooms and stuff, but you're pretty much going to be locked.
Yeah, it's probably a more focused experience. You know?
Yeah, like you're gonna be locked to like Hogwarts and the castle grounds and stuff like that. Now, as for like venturing out into the world, you might be able to go out into the town, but like that's it.
Well, to be fair, completely fair to Hogwarts, they did say that they imagined what outside of Hogwarts looks like. So they've imagined towns, they've imagined woods, they've imagined different areas beyond Hogwarts. So it's like, I'm sure it's going to be a nice sized open world. I'm sure it will have plenty of interaction. I'm sure it will have plenty of thought and plenty of love put into the game. It's just not on the same level. Because, like, if the leaks are true, like that leak that said the no voice protagonist for Starfield, it's a leak, so take it with a grain of salt. But if that leak is true, they're saying that this is going to have multiple planets, each one the size or bigger of Skyrim.
Man, yeah, so like the scales are completely different.
It's just a whole different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and back to what you said at the beginning, Matt. It's just not the same game. It's just not. So even if they're both high quality, must-have games, or even, I mean, let's say Hogwarts gets a better Metacritic score than Starfield does, or something like that. Let's just say that happens. That doesn't change the fact that I'm not gonna feel the way I feel in Starfield that I feel in Hogwarts. I'm not gonna feel like a pilot that's gonna go around from universe to universe in Hogwarts all of a sudden. It's kind of like how I feel about Elden Ring and Horizon. Like, both really fun, dope games. I'd say Elden Ring's a little bit better in my opinion, but there's plenty of other opinions that think the otherwise. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And they're both completely playable alone. You don't have to you don't have to pick one or the other unless you're like somehow like
very broke or something.
If you don't have, I mean, and come on now, if you can't play Starfield, you got a Game Pass for $15 a month or $1 for your first time. Hell, start a new account for $1.
You technically play on your phone Starfield.
Yeah.
Game Pass, you can stream it. That's it.
That's a possibility.
It is. You could do that.
Well, because not everything is streamable though.
I'm pretty sure Starfield is going to be. I'm pretty sure they already.
It is.
Well, I think they're pushing very hard for like anything like that. I know like Flight Sim took a while to come to the streaming, but like anything like that, they want that available to as many people as possible the second it comes out. So they're putting that everywhere.
You know what? That makes sense, because they've been banking. It's like Microsoft is basically banking on Starfield. Pretty much.
That's their Hail Mary this year. Pretty much.
Is to like dominate this year, this generation. It's like, hey, we're gonna throw out Starfield, and basically nothing's gonna touch it. Is what it seems like.
It's like
that's how they feel.
Like, this is gonna define our consoles.
And as we said earlier when we were talking about it. Like, they were just so confident in the way that they were talking. It's very rare that I feel the same way when I watch these guys that I felt when I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head, but I know you know it, Matt. Playground Games guy.
His name is Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, thank you. Mike Brown was so confident when he was talking about Forza Horizon 5 last year. He was confident. He was willing to sit there and take all the questions and literally lay out the game week by week about what they're working on, what they're implementing, what to expect, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, their online isn't the best right now for Forza. It hasn't been since launch at all whatsoever. But everything else... They gave me exactly what they said they were going to give me, and I'm very happy with the outcome of that game.
It's also playable offline too, which is nice.
That's very helpful when we're comparing them to certain other games.
Imagine if Forza Horizon 5 had that same online DRM that Gran Turismo 7 had, and you had those servers that are constantly disconnecting. That'd be a freaking train wreck,
That would have blasted the user score way down, just like it happened to GT7. But anyways, let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be game smush. We're going to take 2 games and push them together and talk about what we would expect out of that game. And I am the one that picked the game this week. The games that I picked to push together is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog and Rockstar's Max Payne.
Nice.
Now, I want somebody just to jump up and say what they would expect out of that game.
Would it be more based on like a classic Sonic approach or more like a Sonic adventure approach? You know
Ooh,
what I'm
that's a
saying?
really
Like,
good question. I'm
It is
going to
like
say,
so many
I'm going to
different-
say
so many
Sonic
different types of
Adventure.
Sonic.
I'm going to say Sonic
Yeah.
Adventure.
Yeah.
How about
Okay,
Sonic
there you
Pinball?
go.
No, I'm just kidding. Sonic
Sonic
Adventure.
Spinball. Because there's also like 2 different types of Sonic. Like there's the Boost Sonic, right?
Yes.
Like the more modern Boost Sonic, and then like you said, Adventure Sonic, which is just kind of more of a 3D platforming.
I'm gonna say Adventure
Yeah.
Sonic just so it
it's
kind
better.
of like blends in a little bit better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would blend it
Yeah.
better. Because it
See-
is more open, right? So
See, I kind of thought, because that's a good point to bring up, because I was thinking side-scrolling Max Payne.
You know, that's actually
Original.
pretty damn cool too,
Momentum-based.
though.
And but then you think of like, God, I mean, there's so many things you could do. Like, so I put Sonic in a Max Payne situation. Like Sonic and I don't know I can't remember if it's 1 or 2. It might be 2. The one where like you're just in a dilapidated hotel, and you're like going from bottom to top. There's like homeless people in there, and just Sonic going through that with a gun, killing people trying to like.
with a gun.
It's just like that makes me laugh to think of that.
One of your special moves is running around the room so fast until they puke.
Exactly.
The thing is, though, like I said before, I think we talked about this before, but I think with, like Sonic characters with guns isn't even like a new concept, right? Like Sega
Yeah.
has dabbled into that with Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it's not even like that off. Be like, oh, Sonic with guns. It's like, well, it's kind of already happened, you know. So like
Yeah.
I'm almost used to it already. It's like, yeah, I could totally see Sonic with a gun, you know. It's like it doesn't even faze me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, also maybe Sonic driving cars would be one as well. But I mean, Sonic has also done that as well because you know we have the Sonic racing games. So it's like, what has Sonic done? Like, I feel like Sonic has done so many things, you know. Like,
I'm just thinking like when I think of Sonic mixed with Max Payne, I start to get like a Devil May Cry feel out of the game, where I'm just thinking, you know, he runs up, jumps on their head, bounces up, shoots them repeatedly straight down, and then does a zoom attack, runs around them really
Like a
fast, and then
combo
they
system
turn
on
into a
them,
good
too.
citizen.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Make
nice.
it PG. No, he's a good guy.
You know how
That
when
was
you watch
good.
the movie The Mask and he will do like a spin really fast and then turn into something completely different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine Sonic running around somebody is turning their life around.
They're like a gangster and he spins him around. He's like in a nice suit after. He's like, I got a kids. Something, I don't know.
I'm late for work. Oh my god, what was I doing?
He has like a nice suit after. All his life's together. He's a clean, sober, and everything.
Where'd the sack of crack come
Game
from?
over. Thanks, Sonic.
No, you have like gangster Sonic like just going like all tough, and then you just see this big blue ball just like bust through a window, guns out. And Sonic's just immediately just going into like a full dead-on sprint, just
That's what I
knocking
like.
everybody out.
Could you imagine
what I
though
think.
Sonic talking of like you remember the cutscenes from Max Payne, how they were like comic?
Like comics, yeah.
Could you
Very
imagine
young.
putting Sonic on those covers, smoking a cigarette and talking to
Smoking
the
a
lady?
cigarette. Yeah.
And
I
just,
hope somebody does that one day just to do it. Just be like, please,
I mean,
somebody
we're
do
throwing
it.
the idea out there right now, so someone could pick
Exactly.
it up.
Someone can do
Somebody
this.
please
There-
do
there-
that. I will love you forever.
I mean, have you seen how many fan Sonic games there are out there? I could see it happening. There's so many fan games out there. for
It might
Sonic.
exist. It
Well,
might
yeah,
exist,
who knows? It
maybe.
might exist.
yep, you gotta walk down Tails' blood trail to figure out
Oh,
the end
God,
of the
yeah.
level.
Oh,
And then you open the door and you have to do a slow-mo jump through it and just like use like a chain gun as you're doing it to kill like 80 enemies that are waiting
It's
on the
funny
other side of
because
the door.
Sonic is so fast, he can naturally do something like that, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It looks slow to him, right?
And the power of that PS5 SSD could handle it. Ooh.
Oh, so fast.
At a smooth 60 frames per second.
Smooth 60
4K.
frames per second.
Moo.
No
Incredibly
DRM. So you can play offline.
Yeah.
fast.
No, man, I think it'd be very interesting to see something like that. So I want you to tell me, Twan, because you said they've already done stuff like that before. In what games?
No, like I said with Shadow the Hedgehog, right? Like you
Oh,
know,
okay,
you know
yeah.
Shadow the Hedgehog, right?
Yep.
He has guns. Like he straight up has guns, pistols. He rides motorcycles. Like it's almost like there's so many of those things that you'd be like, oh, Sonic with a gun, because like Sega had that phase, right, where they just making it so edgy, like the whole franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like there's so many things that would just be off, but it's like they're not off because I'm used to it as like a fan of Sega. And I'm just so used to like Sonic being in those weird situations, you know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I feel
yeah,
you.
that's what I was saying, right? Like,
Matt
I could see it happening. That's what I'm saying.
Matt or Cottontail, you guys got anything else on this?
Good.
No, not. What I have to say, I guess I can't really convey to make it make sense. So,
Man,
I think,
the Discord.
yeah, I think, I think I'm good on that. I would honestly really enjoy just seeing Sonic with a cigarette, wearing a leather jacket, leaning against a pole.
Berettas.
With Berettas
Berettas,
strapped, like one strapped and the other one just shooting up into the air. I would love someone to do a fan art of that just to see it.
Well, you said it'd be like Devil May Cry, so there'd be like a whole combo system going on.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Dude, Devil May Cry is like the greatest series ever, and Sonic is fast paced enough to be able to fit that perfectly.
He just
I
takes
always-
too many painkillers and turns into Supersonic.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
Sonic on painkillers.
Like, are you guys ever?
Those are some strong painkillers.
But are
Oh,
you guys
God.
familiar with Shadow the Hedgehog, the game at all? Like that whole spin
I don't think so. When
Not
is that?
not
What's
the
that on?
game, no.
It came out on the GameCube and the PS2.
Oh,
it
I
was
missed
like I
it.
said, it was
I missed
basically
it.
just an edgy Sonic game. Like you had guns, you had swords, and it was
Okay.
it controlled really clunky. It wasn't a very good game. But I always thought, I was like, what if like Platinum Games helmed the sequel and they actually made the combat good, and you're like Shadow the Hedgehog, it was all fast paced, you know, you're picking up weapons.
Yeah.
I feel like that could actually work, you know, if it was
Yeah.
actually executed properly. So, because you were talking about the whole Devil May Cry thing, and I'm like, yeah, fast paced Sonic, you know, they both work with good combat. Like, I think it could work, you know, like I've told people this, and they say
Really
I'm just an
do.
idiot. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm an idiot.
That could
But-
definitely work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we're going to move on to our last topic of the day. And I think this one will promote some arguments between us for sure. But games that forever are under or overrated. Who wants to go first on this one? Who has a game that's either
Go.
underrated or overrated?
I do.
Underrated.
All right.
Cyberpunk.
All right, let's go with Cottontail first.
Okay.
Can it be like old, like retro games?
It can be
Does that
whatever.
count?
I
I
mean,
could go
yeah.
all for retro games almost.
Okay,
This is-
Turok?
yeah.
No, not Turok. Hexen. I don't know if anybody remembers that
Oh,
game.
Hexen,
That
that's
game
like
is
the Doom-
severe.
That's
That's like
a
the
Doom
old.
like that.
That's like old. That was like Doom before Doom came into existence. Yeah. Hexen is an extremely underrated game, and I seriously wish my parents didn't throw away my Nintendo 64 when I was a kid, dude, because it wasn't. They said it was broken, and it wasn't even broken. It was
How do you
because
break
they.
an N64?
I don't know, dude.
Like,
Is
those
they
are
had the little.
indestructible.
They had the cable with the little needle in it, and I figured out as a kid that's what was broken, and that's why they thought that Nintendo was broken. So when I came home from school one day, I found out that they threw it away and the trash already came and gone, and I'm like, why?
Oh,
And yeah, I have
Sounds
not been
like
able to get my hands on one since. But yeah, Hexen, seriously underrated game, because I remember I was like, I think like 5 or 6, and I used to pick the sorcerer, and I just had the most amazing fun in the starting area shooting all the pitiful monsters in the cage because they couldn't get to me. And I don't know
Because
why
that-
I found that so enjoyable.
Yeah, but that was more of like a Doom clone, I think. Well, it was
That
looked at as a Doom.
No.
clone.
it was looked at as like
Yeah.
a Doom clone, but I think Hexen came out.
No, I'm pretty sure it definitely came out after, for sure.
Did it
I'm-
come out
I'm
after?
pretty confident it came out after Hexen.
Hexen was like, wasn't it?
Because
Because
I know
Doom was like what,
Wolfenstein came
1993?
Wolfenstein came out first. That was like the first. Of
Yeah.
almost of its kind. Well, I know another one came out before it. It was more like
Well,
a mage kind of game.
the remaster came out back in like 2002, I think, but the original Hexen came out in 95.
And I
Okay.
have to look that up. I
Doom
don't
was
know
like
if it-
93 though.
Yeah, something like that. So, Doom definitely came up before that because like it pretty much popularized the entire genre.
Yep,
Oh, that-
December 10th,
oh, no.
1993.
No, Doom 64 came out
Oh
March
yeah, that's Doom
31st,
64. That's like
But we're
Oh,
talking about
well,
Doom.
yeah,
That's a
you're talking
completely
about like the
different game.
OG
Yeah,
Doom.
Yeah, the
that's
first
yeah.
Doom.
Doom 64
Yeah,
was
okay,
its
then
own
yeah,
game.
that came out back in 93. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Hexen came out like 2 years after, yeah.
Yeah, Doom 64 wasn't even developed by its software. I think it was developed by Midway. I think.
I think you're right.
Nope.
Isn't it?
Developers, id Software and Williams Entertainment for the first
Williams
game.
was the one I was thinking. Yeah, it's Williams.
Yeah, well, I know
Well,
I
Williams
know
is
Midway
pretty much
published
like
it.
Midway, though.
Well, they published it. I know
Okay.
that much for sure.
Williams and Midway were just like
Yeah.
back in the day. I mean, because if you look at Mortal Kombat games, you've seen Midway and you've seen Williamson
Yeah.
on both of them. And they both
Yeah.
used to make a lot of arcade systems. That's what they were really big with before they even got into the console
Yeah,
console
they're all
scene.
the, Yeah, they're pretty much what Raw Thrills is today.
Right.
I don't know if you know.
Think-
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that it's super interesting you bring up Hexen because if I'm not mistaken, after the acquisition went through Bethesda, I feel like I remember Phil Spencer mentioning by name Hexen as like one of the IPs that he thinks is super interesting.
It would be great if
A whole ass
Phil
reboot.
brought
imagine
it
that.
back. Yeah, if he brought back Hexen with like today's technology in terms of game development, dude, that'd be like an instant revival. I think I would probably, if it was like only on Xbox and not like on PC or anything like that, or Game Pass, like, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, but
It'll
if
be
it wasn't, I'd probably honestly get an Xbox just for Hexen.
Nice.
Because I like Hexen that much, dude. It brings back so many memories. It was like I don't even really like. That was the first time I got introduced to that general like genre.
Yeah,
I can see
Anyway.
Cottontail's strong hand getting a little limp
Yeah.
right now as he's talking about this game.
You can tell he's really passionate
He's
about this.
becoming a little
Yeah.
softy about it.
Almost a little. emotional.
Okay, yeah. It's just Hexen brings back a lot of memories for me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, gotcha. How about you, Twan? What's your game
Man,
that's
this is
either
gonna be-
under or
I-
overrated?
I have one game that I always bring up, but it's so niche. Like, there's no way you guys are gonna know about it.
see.
Absolutely no way.
Let's
Right.
see.
It's called Rodea the Sky Soldier. You guys probably don't know.
What is that
right?
for? What's that
It's-
for?
So, it was originally developed for the Wii. And it was developed by Yuji Naka, the guy who made Sonic. Like, he made his own development studio called Probe, and they're
I've
making this
heard
game.
of this game. I certainly
You've heard of
didn't
it?
play it. I've heard
Yeah,
of this
so
game. I
it's
certainly
like
did not play
it
it.
has the most complicated development cycle you'll ever see in a game. So it was actually finished in 2011, but they had this publishing deal with Katakawa Games, and they were like, "No, we want to make a 3DS version." So Katakawa was making a 3DS version, and it got delayed, till like 2015, and then they're like, "Okay, now the Wii's pretty much dead, so let's make a Wii U version." But instead of taking the Wii version, they ported the 3DS version to the Wii U. So they made basically, and the thing is though, Yuji Naka didn't make the 3DS version. Katakawa did, right? They made their own version. It was a garbage game. Like the game wasn't very good on the 3DS, and they used that game as a base to make the Wii U version. But the Wii game is actually good. It was developed by Yuji Naka. It's a fun game, completely different from the 3DS version. So in 2015 they ported that game to the Wii U, and the Wii game was a bonus disc included in the Wii U version of the game. So the thing is though, the Wii U version got reviewed by outlets and it got bombed, like 40 on Metacritic and everything. But the Wii version was actually like, no, this game's actually good, but nobody played it, nobody knows about it because it got the most bizarre release. You know, it's a Wii game that technically came out in 2015 as a bonus disc for this Wii U game that got review bombed. So it was just such a complicated situation because people saw the Metacritic like, okay, this game's probably ass, so I'm not gonna bother playing it. But they didn't know that the bonus disc is actually a good game that was for the Wii. Like, are you guys even caching this right now?
Yeah, and it's super. That's super
like,
diluted.
I could show you it right now. But,
Oh man.
I told you, Twan's
Dude,
out
this
there.
dude
He's ready to pull
literally
things
has
out left and right.
everything.
so this game right here.
got
So
it.
this is the game, right? You can see it says bonus game inside. And this is the Wii version. The Wii version is the regular Wii version as a bonus disc, and this is the Wii U version. That's the actual, you know, marketed game. That's the game that they actually.
I like how that's in the second disc slot.
Yes.
Yeah, that says a lot.
It's funny because Yuji Naka himself, when the game came out, he's like, okay, Rodea the Sky Soldier came out. Play the Wii version. That's what he said in his tweet. Like, he didn't even say anything. He just play the Wii version. Because he knows that this is the actual good version of the game. Like, completely different from the Wii U version.
That's
And
embarrassing.
it's funny because even when you see the Wii U, you can actually flip it. And you can see it has a Wii artwork on the other side, which is pretty neat.
Aww.
Like, it's- but,
That's
it's
hella
such a-
interesting.
It's such a bizarre scenario that I don't think has ever happened. other
Twan's
than
like, I'm
this.
flipping that shit over right now.
But yeah, like, I always bring this game up because like I like this game. Like the Wii, like the actual Rodea the Sky Soldier on the Wii, it's like a Nights into Dreams kind of like experience, right? And it's actually a really good game. And it uses the Wii, you know, pointer function in an actual pretty cool way, and it just works very well. But the whole thing is it's like that it's such a bizarre release, right? It was a
It
first
got
bonus game.
overshadowed by its development. So.
It got it got overshadowed by the game that came on the Wii U, and this game was garbage. So people just assumed that the game was garbage, but they didn't know that the bonus disc is the actual good game. So complicated. Like even
Damn.
it's that's like the most complicated like niche thing I could think of, and I always point back to this game when I think of underrated because it is
You
a good
somehow managed to make an under and overrated comment
game. Oh,
at the same time with saying, "Oh man, the Wii U version's overrated," or
no,
or
I said this is trash. The Wii version is trash, but the Wii version is great. That's what I said.
That's funny. All right, and now we're gonna move over to Matt likes
Like, I don't
games
think
for
I don't think
his.
it get any more niche than this. This is like a one-time scenario. I feel.
Yeah, see, I don't got something that niche. And I know I know at the start of this I said Cyberpunk, but I
Hold on,
thought
Matt.
about it.
Hold on, Matt. I gotta clear something up real quick.
Yep.
Mike's in the chat saying, "I've never played a Doom game before. Are they good?"
Yes.
And
Mike was in the
Cottontail's
chat
seen that, and Cottontail's seen
good.
that and responded to
Hold
him.
on.
He's clearly trolling right now, Cottontail.
Mike is
He
one of
is-
the greatest. Mike is one of the greatest Doom players I've ever seen in my life. He's
Yes.
lying.
Yeah, man.
He's lying.
When you watch his Twitch stream of him playing Doom, it makes you almost not even want to download it because you're just like,
Yeah,
I
Maybe
cannot,
because it's just-
I
I'm just
cannot
never
get
got
that
there.
good.
I'm ashamed of like I beat the game and I felt pretty good about it. I beat both DLCs. I felt pretty
DLC was
pretty good
tough,
about
man.
it. And
DLC was
and then I watch him and it's just like that's just different. He's a whole different. He's not
He's
even
playing a
human, really.
completely different game.
Yeah, he's playing a whole different game.
It's not fair.
You're in his world when you're watching.
Exactly. Exactly. 110%.
When you're in a party chat with him, you can hear him going to work.
Like you can hear his controller in the party chat with him.
It's just
Yeah.
click.
Yes.
Dude, He is crushing it too. And if you watch the stream, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's a machine. He's a legit machine.
Dude, you know what? Because they vouched for you, Mike. I'm gonna have to find your Twitch and go rewatch some of your Doom streams because like I like Doom. I'm just absolute garbage at Doom.
It's like a mixtape. It's like watching someone's mixtape.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah, like I like seeing Doom players. Like, is Mike the type of Doom player that like basically switches weapons on the fly without like
everything?
He doesn't even. It's like a split second of like you already know what you're gonna pick.
Bro, he is not only switching weapons super fast, but he's on one side of the map and then the other in like a split second.
He'll launch himself. He's like, hey, I'm just gonna go on this side now.
Straight up just Dragon Ball Z. Just
he's the kind of person that you would see and say, this dude's using mods. He's cheating.
Yeah, you would immediately think that, but he's definitely not.
Auto aim.
Well, he plays on Xbox, doesn't play on PC.
Yeah, he plays on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually most of those Doom players, they are usually on PC, right, with the mouse and keyboard setup, right?
Yeah, I play Doom on PC, but like when I'm switching weapons, I'm on the weapon select screen for like 10 seconds.
I need everything to stop.
That's how I feel.
Need everything to stop for a moment and let me grab my shotgun real quick.
Yeah, let me grab my shotgun. Let me grab my plasma
just stay
rifle.
right there.
Exactly.
I can just see Cottontail playing. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
All right, now you can proceed, Matt. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just had to clear that up. When I seen Mike in the comment section saying all that nonsense, I had to clear it up because Cottontail is like, oh yeah, it's a pretty good game. You should get the hell out of here, Mike.
Very, very good.
See,
right,
I was gonna say Cyberpunk, but then I thought, well, that's just so easy because for me, Cyberpunk's one of the best games I've ever played. For me, but I want to go with a game that I feel is underrated, and that's Dishonored. Dishonored. I feel like everything that Arcane. The only thing I can't really get into from Arcane is Prey, and I've tried, but it's just not clicking with me. But Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2. Dishonored Death of the Outsider, some of the best games I've ever played. And they critically do not succeed. Like, they come out and the critics are like, this game's amazing. But then you look at the sales numbers and they'll be like a couple hundreds, thousands.
So, yeah, you'd say that the critics take it very well, but the actual sales don't take it well.
But, like, the sales don't show that, don't reflect that.
Yeah.
And the way people talk about like because it's like an immersive sim, the way people talk about those kind of games is kind of like, to me, that those games don't even exist. When I think Arcane in reality, like Arcane, I feel like as soon as Xbox made that acquisition of Bethesda, I feel like Arcane immediately became their best studio. Immediately.
Well, didn't they made correct me if I'm wrong, but they made Deathloop, right?
They made Deathloop 2, which is another fantastic game. Plays even better, and the gunplay is actually really good in Deathloop, which is something
very,
that kind
very
of
well received as well. That game.
Yeah, which is something they
Deathloop
struggle
is like
with.
Dishonored, from what I hear. A lot of the mechanics and whatnot throughout that game.
It's like Dishonored, but in Dishonored they kind of like they don't force you. You can play it as the way you want, but like they if you're a new player, they lean you into playing stealthy. Whereas with Deathloop, they're like, here's a gun. You can play stealthy if you want, but you can just go fucking insane.
Oh, dude, that's how I was with Deathloop. Like, when I jumped in, I was like, I try to be stealthy.
Yeah.
Then when I started getting all of the powers, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go ham and just wreck
I'm gonna go
anything
insane.
like that.
But I just feel like Dishonored is like, because it's the game that kind of started modern. I mean, Arcane was around before that, obviously, but it's the game that started modern Arcane. Like, everything that comes after Dishonored is in the style of Dishonored, whether it's art style, whether it's gameplay, whether it's anything like that, it's in the style of Dishonored. And I feel like people, I don't know, they just don't. It could just be, maybe it's not their game, but I feel like if more people tried it, it really would be their game. Really would be.
Okay. All right.
That's fair. That's fair.
So it looks like I am last
Yeah, man. The floor is
and
yours.
least because the game that I'm gonna say
Crossfire X.
is
Oh,
not
God.
is not Crossfire X. The game I'm gonna say a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on, but I think
Oh,
it
no.
is.
Don't
I
say it.
think it is personally underrated because I mean it kind of did its own doing a little bit without having very much story and just being all lore. But the game that I think is forever underrated is going to be Ark Survival Evolved. Let's go.
I think
Oh,
none of us is
man.
gonna agree here.
I don't think any of you guys are going to agree either.
No,
That game
no,
is far
that
too
that
overrated.
game. I'm sorry. That game exactly.
That game-
Thank you. That game.
Like
is
if that
overrated.
if that game got a 40 on American, I'd be like, that's overrated.
That's way too overrated.
You guys
Because,
stop.
dude, it's like it's a great. Okay, I like the fact that you could basically evolve your dinosaurs and stuff, but the fact about Ark, dude, is no matter what platform it's on, it is horribly optimized and it runs like
Yes.
absolute garbage.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
true.
just-
Like if you played
Yes,
it on the
it does.
Series X, it runs really well. It runs a hell of a lot better
You know
than
what?
it
You know what I
ran.
had to do. You know what I
I've
had
played
to
it
do.
since 2016, so I've been through all of the issues. And back when it was in game preview, I played it.
Okay, Ham.
So I
you
went
want to
through
know
it.
what I had to do? You want to know what I had to do on Stadia? You want to know what I had to do? Because they
Oh, on
optimized it
Stadia?
so badly. Yeah. You know what? Because it's optimized so badly. You know what I had to do? I had to go into the console commands and basically crank everything up for it to run the way it was supposed to because they just didn't optimize it at all. Like, and it still runs. It barely runs better than my PC runs it locally. It's garbage. I'm sorry. Ark is just not
Yeah.
good. The concept,
It's a great game. Haters.
The concept is good, but the execution is just,
Yeah, this is a
terrible.
game. Dope concept.
It's coded by
fucking
monkeys.
suck to play.
Yeah, it's just a
Stop it.
horrible game to
Stop
play,
it.
dude.
It's art. It's art.
When you start off, you have to go build a hut and then go kill chickens and then raise baby dinos. It's a good
I don't have
concept.
time for that.
Yeah, you don't have
I
time for that because then you're
I don't
getting
wanna
pecked
do
to
that.
death by ancient dinosaurs, or you're trying to go harvest rocks and then you're getting whacked to death by Stegosaurus. I mean, like,
Yes.
I don't know what's going, and then you end up flying and stuff like that. Like, I don't know where the game is going direction wise. There's just
Makes no sense.
I will never shut up about that game because there's so many cons compared to pros. Is it cool that you can mess with dinosaurs? Yeah, but like anything else, just no.
I'll be honest. I
wanna
played
shoot
that game
lasers on a
for.
T-Rex. That's it.
I'll be honest. I played for a solid like 7 months before I knew there was boss fights.
Are you serious?
I was just like building, and I had this massive base, and I've had so many Rexes and Allosauruses and all these different dinos, Argentavis and Pterodons and dragons and stuff like that, and it was so much fun. And then I figured out there was boss fights, and I went into a boss fight with just a couple animals and got lit. Got
I had no idea.
completely lit up.
I had no idea there was boss fights until you told me there was boss fights.
That's how obscure that game is. Is
Exactly.
the fact that you don't even know there's boss fights until
Like,
someone else tells you that's there's boss
My
fights.
friend had me playing this game with him for about a year. He was trying to get me to play. Like I would play and I'd play for a half hour and I'd be like, "This is terrible." And then the next day he's like, "Come on, this time it's gonna be good." I played for an hour. This is terrible. I did that for a year and I did not know there was boss fights until you said that.
Just
I
right
played maybe 300 hours of that game total.
Oh, really? That much?
Yeah, over a year, just because he's trying to get me to play a half hour tonight, a half hour the next night. It's just like,
Man,
it's
what
like,
commitment
dude,
this guy had.
I had no idea there was boss fights in that game. None.
So I'm going to tell you some of the great things about that game. The map
Here we go.
design is absolutely fantastic in that game. The map design is fantastic. The
agrees with
caves, and the caves that you can go into and everything. The upgrading I thought was really good. The crafting I thought was absolutely awesome, and the kind of sources and materials that you need to grab to be able to do it. It's just the story was just non-existent. So I agree with you there. The story is non-existent, and the direction of the game is non-existent as well. So like you just become alive, you start crafting stuff, but then I mean, as I pretty much admitted, I had no idea what to do after I did that. I just thought I was crafting stuff. I thought I was pretty much playing Minecraft, which I was having an absolute blast doing it. But I thought a lot of cool things came with it, especially when you got further into the game, like tech gear and stuff like that. So you get so you get to fly, you get to use energy swords to kill monsters. You can tame and breed dragons. So you get to have a little dragon that's a baby and raise it to be big and super strong and powerful. And depending on which parents you use to make the dragon or to make the Rex or whatever will make that new Rex or new dragon or whatever super duper strong. So you could like layer the strength on these people. And I thought that whole concept and everything was really dope. I had a blast playing it. And the more people you have playing, so if it's just you by yourself or you and one other person, I can see how that can get dull in like a couple hours of playing. But if you have like a minimum of like 4 people playing, doing separate things, and then you guys go and raid another base and stuff like that, dude, that becomes addicting. It becomes seriously addicting to the point where I got over 170 days in that game by myself. So it makes you guys sick.
You're just
That's
I'm
upsetting.
sorry, dude. You're
I'm so
flying
sorry for you,
solo.
man.
You're flying
That's
solo
upsetting.
on that. Your goal in Ark is to ride a gigantic T-Rex with lasers attached to it, and then go raid other people, and that's it. And then sometimes, if you want
Boss
to just go
fights.
get it, if you want to go get a pretty view, you just fly your character up in the air and go look at a pretty volcano. I mean, that's basically the goal of Ark. And then if you get lonely, you could just go play with your hatchlings. That's it. It's like Sims, but dinosaur style with the occasional boss fight in it. Except the boss fight are like your in-laws that don't like you. That's how I see Ark.
Am I correct in saying that Ark is kind of like, because I played a very small amount of both of these games, it's kind of like Grounded when Grounded first came out, and that it had no content. Like not content, but like it had nothing, like no
I'm not really
structure.
familiar with Grounded at all, so I can't really say.
Well, I mean, I know they're both survival games. I know Grounded
Yeah.
came out in early access, and it's like here's this cool concept, but it's like we've got nothing to offer you right now. Nothing to offer you. There's no real structure. It's just like you get in here, try not to die, build a base if you want, but there's no story. Nothing is going to push you forward other than building that base, interacting with your friends, or something like that. I know Grounded since then has added a whole bunch of stuff, and I know later this year I think they're doing their 1.0 official release. So, but like from what I played of both of those games, would I be correct in saying that it's all about building your base, interacting with your friends, and just not dying?
Right.
Okay. Okay, well, fair enough.
Like similar
Yes.
concepts at the
Fair
very
enough.
Well, I tell you this much. So you guys didn't enjoy the first Ark, obviously. I think Ark 2 now is going to be everything that they kind of did with Ark 1, but with a story. But with the story, and I mean, if you look at, I'm sure you guys haven't looked it up at all, but they're having an Ark animated series.
I think I've heard about that.
Right?
I've heard about that.
That's gonna have Vin Diesel. It's gonna have a bunch of big name actors as the voice of those characters within the animated series. And Vin Diesel specifically is gonna be in the video game Ark 2.
Yeah,
as part of the story. And
I just that's not a saving grace for.
it's not a saving grace to have an actor in there, no. But what is a saving grace is to have a story within a game that drove a lot of people away because it didn't have one.
Didn't have a story.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but it's like, dude, honestly, I still don't care for Ark regardless, and I don't think I'm going to, even with Vin Diesel, because every time I hear Vin Diesel's name, all I ever think about is Fast and the Furious, even though I know he's been in other things.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like Wildcard is basically picking Vin Diesel because Vin Diesel has exposure.
Not exactly. He has over 10,000 hours within the video game of Ark. So they picked him because he loves that game.
So Vin Diesel
Loves Ark.
Jesus, 10,000 hours.
Yeah,
What?
He's got bad taste.
He has over 10,000 hours in the game Ark.
Hey, why don't you reach out to Vin Diesel then and be like, hey, can you teach me something?
Yeah, he'll definitely back you up
Yeah.
on the fact that you think
Get
it's
Vin
underrated.
Diesel on here. He's gonna agree with you.
I mean,
Oh
we're
my
not going
God.
to agree with you. You can't convince us that
Oh my
Ark's a
God.
good game, but he'll definitely.
Well,
back
I'm
you.
gonna say, I'm gonna end it right here by
is
saying
about
that
that
it
one.
is a forever underrated game. And as you see the panel, they're gonna
wasn't there-
forever say it's overrated.
That
I
game will
think it's
never
underrated.
be underrated. It's always
Is it?
overrated. Period.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Isn't there another
Yep.
art game like in the style of like Minecraft or something? Like I feel like there was another art game.
There's a
might be.
Pixar.
It's
Pixar.
like it's like a is that what it's called? It's like
Mhm.
a Minecraft version of it. I'm not sure how different that is, or if it's a
So
similar
it's
game.
art, but like block style, basically.
Something like
Yeah.
Oh Jesus! So it's a literal Minecraft knockoff.
at least optimization would probably be better with that game, right?
Well,
I
yeah,
imagine.
because
Yeah,
you're
I think
playing
so.
in low texture, just making blocks. Imagine I hope the dinosaurs are made out of blocks, and then that's
That'd be funny even if they couldn't get the optimization right on that game. Imagine if that game like stuttered. You know
dude.
what I mean?
If they can't, then I will never, ever, ever, ever have anything to do with them ever again. That's like That's like
Yeah.
me just saying you're out of existence, off my mind, done.
Nice.
Bye.
Pretty much.
Oh my
I
god.
don't blame you.
Well, you guys, we've reached the end of our first show. Yeah, Pixel Arc is what Mike said in the chat. But yeah, we've reached the end of our show, guys. How you guys feel about that? That was pretty good, right?
Loved it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty solid actually.
Loved it.
Yeah, that was a really fun show. Even
I
though
saw
I
my
got
brothers
pretty
go walking in
thrashed
there.
at the end, I didn't enjoy the thrashing throughout throughout
Like
the
better
stream.
games.
Oh my god!
You took multiple
He
L's.
said,
Cam,
like,
I'm
better
sorry.
games.
You need to like better games, Cam. I'm sorry. But
We all
Oh
have
my
the same
God.
taste, and you're like the outlier of just
exactly.
You
Yeah,
like
that
what you
wasn't
like.
like-
I'm not gonna hold that against you.
Like we all just flamed the game. We didn't even say it
As
was
long
under-
as it's better.
it was just a
As
complete
long as it's
roast.
better.
Oh,
Anything
man.
is better than Ark at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, really? Crossfire. We're gonna go back to that.
Okay, no,
Yes,
no,
better.
no. Okay,
Yes,
no. Ark is better than Crossfire, but like barely. That's
stop it.
they're both below like the standard
Honestly,
line.
I feel like
of
I'd
enjoyable.
probably pick up Crossfire X. Honestly,
Yeah, I
at least
would
I know it's
too.
gonna run properly. You know.
I would too.
Well, yeah, yeah. At least it runs properly, and it's a new game
Like, it's
compared to Ark
optimized
that's
for
been
the
out
console that it's
forever.
on. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of Ark, that no matter where you play it, it's just
It'll
not.
just not work.
It just doesn't work. And Arcane throws out content but doesn't optimize their game before they throw out, or not Arcane. Wildcard throws out content but they need to optimize their game for the content. So it's like filling up the trash, but you're not pushing it down. So it's just more and more and more, and then now you just have trash all over your game. That
Yeah.
game's trash. Ham, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know if you guys know this. I'm pretty sure Ham
Ridiculous.
does, but you know that Ark is on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Ark
think I
is
told-
on Nintendo Switch.
I already told you that story, right? How my brother got that version of the game,
Oh my!
and it was like 20 minutes to load the game. It
Are
was
you
terrible.
serious?
Yeah, it
Horrible.
was so bad. And he was
That
all
is a
like,
bad choice.
Oh,
he bought it. I'm like, no, don't buy
Oh.
that.
speaking of Switch,
That's why Ark is like
apparently-
on the same level of Doom right here.
Apparently,
Well, like,
Hogwarts is coming to Switch too.
Yeah,
No,
I bet
is it
Hogwarts is
actually?
going to be streaming. How they have control, that technically Control is on Switch, but you can't play it
Yeah,
natively. You have to
Yeah.
stream it.
Yeah,
No, but
no.
is it?
Well, that
No, is Hogwarts actually convert? I didn't even know that
no,
was
it's
It
it's
is.
on their
I
fact
It
know
is.
it was
page.
on
It's on their
It
fact.
is.
It's on the
Damn.
fact page for
Jeez, that's gonna be
Hog.
rough.
Yeah. Well, that's like I want to play Kingdom Hearts again, and I wouldn't mind
Not
getting a
on
Switch
there.
for Kingdom Hearts, but it's so
It's
bad.
Cloud.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Cloud is good, but Nintendo's Cloud is garbage because
Oh, boy.
their chip and everything is just Nintendo's Cloud is
then,
garbage. That's
not
not
only
Cloud.
that,
That's the excuse. That's an
Yeah, but-
excuse.
Yo, but not only that, but we even talked about the whole preservation issue, right? How they're shutting down their stores. So
They're
it's like,
yeah.
you'll buy Kingdom Hearts, and eventually you're gonna lose it.
And then it's gonna
know?
be gone regardless. Like
Yeah.
I would rather
Mm.
go to a pawn shop and pay overprice just to play Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts
Again,
on
like-
PS2, like you could get those pretty cheap. Like those games haven't exploded. in
I
price
think
at all.
the issue is finding PS2 in general. Then again, honestly,
No,
I haven't
PS2 is
bothered.
the best-selling
looking.
console of all time. There's no way it's gonna be hard to find a PS2. My friend, he was actually driving and he saw a PS2 on the side of the street. He picked it up and it was fully working. Like,
Really?
Yeah,
So
like,
someone
that's
just like
lucky.
threw it out, or was
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah. He
on
was
a-
just driving.
friend.
This was like 5
What?
years ago. He just found a PS2 on the side of the street. And he's like, nice. And he just picked it up.
He's like,
yeah,
"All right, bye."
Yeah, a whole PS2.
Jesus.
You can't hate that. You can't hate that
Dude,
at all.
no, I'm looking on eBay and there's a lot of them that are like, there's a few that are like,
Probably like
Already,
80
like-
bucks, I'd say.
no, they're, well, some of them.
Man.
The
Like,
PS2
I wouldn't
Slims
pay
are like
more than-
$80.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay more than $80 for a PS2. Those things are like
No, they're
the
they're
best-selling
selling
consoles
for
of all time.
165 right
Well,
now.
those guys,
on
yeah,
average.
I don't think they sell. Though. They can't.
I,
sell.
I paid like 120 for mine, but it came in box. It came
Nope,
in the PS2
there's-
box and everything, so I felt like it was worth
Which
it.
model was it? A fat model?
Yeah, it was a fat one.
Yeah.
It was
The
a
fat
yeah.
models
one
right
I want.
now on eBay are selling for like 150 minimum.
So I got a pretty good deal for 120 in a box.
When
Yeah,
was
they're not even in box, dude. I mean, they're bundles with like controllers and games, but they're like 170, 180 for that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it might be refurbished too. Like maybe like I did. A
No,
clean-
they are refurbished. Well,
Yeah.
there's some that are.
So you might
the-
also
a lot
they
of them
probably
are
want you to pay for a
refurbished.
service on refurbishing it as well, right? That's the way I would look at it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Usually, that's what happens with like refurbished. You're paying more for
Yeah, because
them fixing and cleaning
I
it
put in
than
the
the
work of
device.
cleaning it,
Yeah.
right. It's not like I just went in my room, grabbed the PS2, and not selling it. He went in there, cleaned up the stuff, dusted it out, and everything, right?
Right.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go on ahead and end this episode. We're gonna
All
have
right.
to. I gotta get back to my lady and the kiddo up in the other room. But man, that was a pleasure being on here with you guys. I'm excited
nice-
to continue
nice
to
first
do
show.
this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
so work us four are gonna work on the side and figure out some more content to bring you guys. But we will see you next Sunday. I want each person real quick to just let everybody know where they can find you before we get out of here.
Matt Likes Games on YouTube, at Matt Likes Games with a 3 in the games on Twitter. Go ahead
Alright,
and,
I guess
go
I'll
ahead
go
and
up
follow
next.
that.
So I mean, right now you could follow me on at It's Me TWON. I just go by TWON on Twitter, and like I said, I have a YouTube channel. All the links are in that Twitter, so you can check there. The YouTube channel is called TWON. I have some videos on there. Like I said, I might upload more, so you might want to subscribe. And yeah, check me out. Maybe you'll get a kick out of it. So yeah, you're up next.
Oh boy. Okay. So, as you guys know, really, I'm only ever on Twitter. So you guys can find me at foremost_GG on Twitter. I'm like, if I'm not working, I usually have Twitter. Either I'm on my PC or on my phone. Either way, yeah. Right now, everything else might as well be considered non-existent. Until I get everything up. So yeah, at Twitter, at foremost_GG. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll talk about whatever, mainly games. I post clips. I post a lot of stuff.
All right.
Cool.
That's a great way.
All right, and then me, Ham Solo 05 Gaming. You can check that out on Twitter. As for content creation, obviously you can find me here, but you can also find me at TSWS Gaming on YouTube. I do a show called Behind Them Sticks twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, with various guests all over the world. And then on Fridays, I do a show with Loke and Cozy Beluga called Bullsitting, where we just kind of sit around, talk about what's kind of going on within the industry. Specifically, sometimes it can get a little ratchet in there and whatnot, but yeah, it can get a little messy in there. It's a fun show where we just literally do what the name of the show is, bullshit, which is short for bullshit.
Yeah.
So definitely check us out there. But fantastic. Thanks to everybody that showed up, and thanks to those that are watching this after it has been live. Appreciate it. We'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Everyone have a wonderful night.
Arizona time is that time.
Yeah, and whatever the hell y'all doing in Arizona.
I mean,
That time.
that's like 4 o'clock my time.
All right.
All
You
right.
said you're 3 hours behind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this for Jesus. We've been going for about almost 3 hours. That's
Almost
good.
no 2 hours, but
2 hours.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh yes, I can't count.
he
Apparently.
can't math. He can't math.
Yeah,
I'm
math is
not
a
good with
horrible
numbers
subject for
either.
me.
Just like he can't rate games, Ark. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for your time. See you later. Peace out.
See you.
Yeah.
Wow.